Hello, everyone. Can you see and hear me? Hopefully, yes. That would be good for everyone. I'm going to reset my mic filter because my laptop fan spun up right as I started. But give me just a second. Voila, that should hopefully be good. Alrighty. So, let's see. What announcements do we have? I realize, by the way, that doing announcements at the beginning of stream is a little bit weird because beginning of the stream is probably the time when there's the fewest people, but it's just sort of like is the natural groove. Like, should I like break for announcements in the middle? I don't know. So anyway, I will just say now, and maybe I will repeat later, that Friday's stream is going to be the first Triss Does Puzzles stream. So Triss is going to stream instead of me because I'm going to be at a Christmas party getting boozed onto the floor or something like that. So it should be exciting to get to see Tristan do it. I'll be like watching on my phone or whatever. So look forward to that. Please be kind to Tristan and help him through the puzzles. He has not streamed as often as I have. So be gentle. But it should be a lot of fun, and I expect that he will enjoy it. I do like Jay's suggestion of doing the announcements one word at a time, evenly spaced through the stream. That is a good plan. Eric mentions that I just found out that for the Cracking the Cryptic book that's coming up, people got to vote for 30 extra puzzles to put in the book, and apparently there are 3 of my puzzles in there. So that's pretty exciting. I'm excited by it. I know there's at least one other puzzle by me in the book, but who knows what it is. I will find out in due course, I suspect, probably when you all do. In fact, actually, I only found out about this because Eric messaged me, so I appreciate Eric letting me know. So likely I will find out after one of you does and tells me, but we'll see. But that's pretty cool. And also, it was noted that Fistamafel got 4 more puzzles, and then Ard and I were tied at 3 puzzles, so that's pretty awesome. To be on that list with those names is quite exciting. Yes, Odd. I realized I said Ard, but that's because like old Simon used to say Ard, but it's Odd. It is Odd, and I think Simon says it now, right? All right. So we get to start today with with the puzzle that is voted on. Today we have a clear and away winner for the puzzle with the most votes. So if you don't know, you can support me by clicking the join button down below, and then you can become a YouTube member and get the green names, like some people are showing off in chat, and all of those sorts of things. And at a certain level, because I tried to come up with different things for people to be able to do, at a certain level, you get to vote on the puzzle that I start stream with. So this is the most votes we've had in a while for this puzzle by Totox. And so this was voted on by the following list of people. Woofer, Neverio, Ken, Doomed Yacht, Luda, Ambrose, Russ, Malcolm, Directionary, and Math Pesto, I believe. That should be 11. It looks like I missed one. I'm not good at copying a list of names. Yeah, is it? So I saw that it is Toto in some places and Totox in others, but maybe it is Toto X. Okay, Toto or Sam. Okay. The X is separate. Oh, was David in there? Maybe. It went up so recently, David. Maybe you haven't voted for it, or maybe you did and I missed your name. That's possible. Because there is one, it is one vote short because there were 11 and I only wrote down 10 names somehow. Alrighty, but anyway, so this solve is dedicated to all of you who voted for it, and I'm excited to see a clear winner. We have tended lately to have like a 4-way tie at 8 every stream, so it's really cool to It's very cool to see a clear winner, and a clear winner who is a relatively new setter. So this is exciting. I look forward to that. So I look forward. This is my first Toto puzzle, I believe. So let's read the rules to the puzzle. By the way, if you've not yet done so, please take a second to like the stream. It helps other people find the stream. We are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. We'll do some sort of special 2,000 subscriber hoobly-hoo. I don't know exactly what or with who, but we will do our best. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. But probably you are subscribed, and if you are, then liking the stream will help get other people subscribed. Alrighty. Do you have a recommended bet cell, Toto? So as a cell that you expect I won't fill in until late in the solve. Yes, the ye old betting tree. It's a holiday betting tree this time of year. So anyway, so Toto says that they set this only 2 weeks after they started solving, so that's awesome. Very cool. This was their first puzzle, and I've had this puzzle recommended by multiple people, so so it is a good first puzzle. So that is awesome. That's right. While I wait and put Toto on the spot and see if they have a recommended betting tree, take a random cell. Let's see. Does this cell look random enough? I will also mention, I realized I forgot something in the announcements, which is that we have a Zeta setting challenge. So the next setting challenge is setting a puzzle that uses centrally Fog of War. It need not be a Sudoku, but it needs to use centrally Fog of War in whatever creative way you find out. We've done some cool Fog of War puzzles on stream. A lot of them have just been people sort of feeling out what you could do with it. But we did a Doomdiat puzzle last time that was just so cool that I sort of decided on the spot, like, let's see what people can do. I want to see what people can do with Fog of War. So that is my recommendation. All right. So let's read the rules. So we have normal Sudoku rules. Good. I get that. Digits may not repeat in cages. Okay, good. Numbers in a cage indicate the difference between the sum of all the even digits in the cage and the sum of all the odd digits in the cage. Okay. So for example, this 0 is saying there's 1 even and 2 odd digits and they have the same sum. It will be posted to Discord if Tristan posts it to Discord. That is usually how it works. And for example, this being a 7 cage is telling me that the two numbers in this cage differ by 7, but neither of them is 1, so therefore these have to be 2, 9 is the only way that these could differ by 7. And so it's the sum of all the odds and the sum of all the evens. Note, it's not possible that there are no evens in this cage, because then the two odds would sum to an even number. So there has to be an even and an odd in this cage. I don't know if it's true in general that there has to be an even in all the cages, an even and an odd in all the cages. Because you could probably say, for example, if I filled this with a 2, 4, you could say the difference between the sum of the evens and the sum of the odds is 6. So I think that's probably valid, but I don't know. We will find out eventually. Probably. Maybe. Possibly. Let's see. Carl says the 4 cage has to be 1, 3, but that's not possible. Because I need the difference of these two things. So note, these aren't killer cages. I need the difference of these things to be that. Welcome, Meme Rister, by the way. Oh, there's another 2-cell 7 cage? I haven't found the other 2-cell 7 cage yet. Oh, here we go. Here's the other 2-cell 7 cage. Right. This 2-cell 7 cage needs to be 8, 1, because it can't be 2, 9. So it's 8, 1. And so we get our first digit of 8. And so we get to pull out our fancy 8 dance. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Whoop-ba-ba-doop-bop. Woohoo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Always appreciate your hard work around here. 8 dance. We have a 1 here. I really would not have seen the 7 cage for some time. I don't know why. Even when people told me there was a 7 cage, I had a hard time finding the 7 cage. So that was that. Alrighty, so we've got that. So difference of 6 now. There's not that many options for difference of 6. It could be 1 and 7. Notably, now it can't be 2 and 8. Wait, no, 1 and 7 doesn't work. What am I talking about? Oh, this just can't be. No. Right. This has to be a 2-4. Right. So this is telling me, sorry, when I said this before, I said, oh, we'll figure out later whether 0 counts. But 0 definitely counts. Because if there was an odd and an even in this cage, the difference would not be even. The difference would be odd. So in fact, this has to be 2-4. And this has to be 1-3. Because if I did it any other way, it would not work. Because I can't have an odd and an even that differ by 4. So it has to be 1-3. The problem, Jen, is 1 and 5 are both odd. Oh, you mean the 6 cage could be 1-5, which it could until you also take into account the 4 cage, because the 4 cage has to be 1 and 3. So that makes this 2 and 4. All right, so that's exciting. So we've got a bunch of digits here already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know this isn't a 9 because there's a 2, 9 there looking across. So we've got that. Oh, there's another 4 2-cell cage. There is. This is also a 1-3. While we play Find the Cages That Zeta Doesn't See. So we've got that. You can do things like this digit can only be in one of these places in this box. I don't know if that's going to be useful. Did we do a puzzle with an exoset? Let's see. So yeah, these are basically a Kropke dot. Someone in chat pointed that out earlier. Should I write out the options for a difference of 3? I don't quite think I want to do that yet. Carl thinks this has to be 3, 5, 8. 3, 5, 8 would be a 0. Oh, this is a 0. Got it. Okay. Yeah, so in this box, there have to be... so in this cage, there must be 2 odds and an even, because if there were 2 evens and an odd, then I would get an odd difference rather than an even difference. So there's an even and 2 odds, and so the question is what even and what 2 odds, and the minimum 2 odds that have to equal that even, I agree with Carl, are 3, 5, which then gives you 8, and you can't get any bigger than that. So this has to be 3, 5, and 8. And so we can just fill in the rest of this, and then we'll know what digits go in here, probably. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These aren't 2 or 9 for bookkeeping purposes. So let's see. So this has to be 2, just thinking about parities, this has to be 2 evens and an odd, and the odd has to be 2 more than the 2 evens. So the minimum the two evens sum to is 6. So I would need either my two odds. Sorry, I'd need either my two evens to sum to 3 less than the odd, in which case it could be 2, 4, 9. That would be an option. Or 3 more. And so if it's 3 more, then we could do, well, we can't do 2, 8, 5, but we could do 4, 6, 7. But we can't do 4, 6, 7 because this cell can't be a 4, 6, or sorry, because this cell is a 4, 6, or 7. So the question is, have we really exhaustively done all of the options or not? Let's see. The two evens are less than the odd. That definitely forces 2, 6, 9. There's no two ways about that. If the two evens are more than the odd, 3 is gone in the box, so I cannot do that. 5 would work if it was... Wait, no. 5 would work if it was 2, 6... Oh, sorry. It can't be 5 because the 5 is gone in the box. So the 3 and the 5 are gone in... So the odd is 7 or 9. And so the question is, I can't make two evens sum to 4. And so the two evens... If the odd in this box was 7, let's phrase it this way. If the odd in this box was 7, I would need my two evens to sum either to 10 or to 10 or to 4. 4 is not possible, and 10 is actually not possible either because the 8 is gone. It would have to be 4 and 6. So basically what we've said is there's not a 7 in here. And so now the odd that's in this cage is definitely a 9. And so now my evens have to add either to 6 or to 12. 12 is not possible because the 8 is gone. And so my evens have to add to 6, and so they are 2 and 4, and there's no 6 in the cage. And so this is a 4, and this is a 2, 9. 4, 6, 7 isn't possible because of this cell Kurban. That was sort of the sort of starting thing going there. So now this isn't 2 or 9. But yeah, 4, 6, 7 was possible until we saw that this cell was pencil marked as 4, 6, 7. This could be lots of things, I suppose. Carl points out there's a 2, 4 pair in this row, making that a 9 and a 2, making that not a 9, interestingly enough. Let's see. Alrighty, what else shall I look at? There's a 1 in the 9 cage in row 1. Ah, right, because of Sudoku. That's a good spot. So this 1 tells me there's a 1 up here. So there's a 1 in the 9 cage. So what's going on here? I have to have 3 odds and 1 even, or 1 odd and 3 evens. But I can't do 1 odd and 3 evens anymore, because if I did 1 odd, the 1 odd would be 1, and my 3 evens would be at least 2, 4, 6. That already sums to 12. That doesn't work. So this is definitely 3 odds and 1 even. And so what is my 1 even going to be? I guess there's a few options. Yeah, I don't quite see a nice way to use the fact that I know this is 3 odds and 1 even yet. We'll get there, I suspect. 5 in box 8, points out Abed. 5 in box 8 goes in the 7 cage. So the 7 cage needs to have an odd number of odds in it. So the 7 cage, actually, every digit in the 7 cage is an odd, right? Other than the 2, is that right? Wait, that doesn't sound right. Because I need an odd number of odds, or my total is not going to be odd. So what else am I can't I only put 5, 7, and 9 in here, and doesn't that just not work? What am I not understanding here? So I understand that wouldn't work, but I don't understand how it could possibly work other ways. Oh, because it can sum to more than 5. Yes, it can sum to more than 5. That's the thing I'm missing. Is it can instead of summing to I was thinking it was broken, but it's not broken. I just need to sum to 2 more than 7. No, I need to sum to 5 more than 7 by making everything else even. So again, there has to be an odd number of odds, and what we've proven is there's not 3 odds. So there's 1 odd, and so therefore the evens need to sum to 12. So the remaining evens need to sum to 10, and so it's 4, 5, 6 is the digits that go here. So this is a triple that I should fill in, that I see includes a 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, in fact. So that is a 2 and a 9. So we've got that. So interesting. Okay, so now I can pencil mark the rest of this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I know that's not a 1. I don't know if these are 1 or not. But I need to make sure something differs by 2 here. And that's getting interesting because this digit is big and these digits are small. So what do I need? I need to have 2 evens and 1 odd in this box because I need 2 odds. I need an even number of odds. So there need to be either 0 odds, which would mean that I'd have a bunch of evens in this cage adding to 2, or 2 odds and 1 even. Okay, so 2 odds and 1 even. Well, what's the minimum that the 2 odds are going to sum to? I guess... Okay, the 2 odds aren't 1 and 3, because if the 2 odds were 1 and 3, I would need this cell to be a 6, and it can't be. Bye, Memerister. So one of these cells is the even. One of these is a 4 or a 6, so therefore this is not the 8. And so I have a 7 or 9, and so now the minimums... So now the only way this works is if I pick a 7 and a 1 as my 2 odds, and a 6 as my even. Because now... so now my 7 and the 1s add to 8 minus 6 is 2. So now there's an 8-9 pair sitting in my 2 cage. So I probably can figure out what happens there. Let me get rid of 6 and 1 here. So that places a 1 up here. So now I've got a bunch of cages where I know all but 1 number, so I probably should read them carefully. So here my odds sum to perhaps 4, or this number. And I need an odd number of odds, right? So here I need an odd number of odds, and so 1 and 3 are both here, so I need 3 odds. So therefore this needs to be odd, so it's not 6. And my odds need to sum to 9 more than 4, because they can't sum to 9 less than 4. 9 more than 4 is 13. They currently sum to 4, and therefore this needs to be a 9, I believe. So 9, 3, and 1 sum to 14 minus 4. Did I do that right? 9, 3, and 1 sum to 13 minus 4 is 9. Okay, I did it right, but I did not articulate that super well. So that has to be that. Oh, and that 2-4 pair sorts out this. And so that places the 3 over in this cage. So that 5, 8 looks over here and says that's a 6 or 7. So that's also a 6 or a 7 to finish the row. Now we want to do the same diagnosis down here. So down here, I need to make sure that I have 2 odds. And those 2 odds need to sum to something that differs from 8 by 2. So the 2 odds, one of which is a 9, need to sum to either 6 or 10. They can't sum to 6. because one of the odds is a 9, so they must sum to 10, so therefore that's a 1. So there is a 1 over down here. So we have that. Okay. Let's see, I can write in what these digits are. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just for purposes of keeping track of them. Still don't really want to write in what those can be. Do I want to start writing in what the possibilities here are? No? I think no. Okay, maybe I should try and do some Sudoku, because I'm seeing lots of cages I don't want to look at yet. So this cell in this box is interesting, because this cell in this box, of course, can't repeat any of those places, and can't repeat there or there. So this cell either goes exactly there, or it's a 1 or a 6. I probably can work out the math of this if I try, but maybe not. Maybe not quite, because I've got these sort of two things floating around. This can't be a 1, so it's either a 6 exactly, or it's that digit. Oh yeah, we can figure out whether this digit is odd or even, Nicholas points out, because I need an even number of odds in this cell. So I need an odd number of odds over here. And I can't get to 3 odds over here because there aren't 3 odds possible. So one of these is odd and 2 of them are even, which finishes the evens for the box. So this isn't 6 or 8, it's 5 or 7. Is Nicholas's point. And we also know that the 6 and the 8 are here. That one's not the 8. Because I needed 2 evens. And so, in fact, actually, I can calculate what this is. Because I've got 6 and 8 sum to 14. I need my odds to sum to something 2 different from 14. Sorry, 6 different from 14. So they either sum to 8, in which case it would be 1 and 7, or they sum to 20, which is not possible. So they need to sum to 8, which would mean I need a 7 and not a 5. Okay, I'm slowly getting this. Okay, so there's a 7 in here. So this is a 5. So that's a 5. This is a 4-6 pair. This is a triple, which I'm interested in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this cell is 2, 7, 8, 1, or 6 from my previous observation. It's definitely not 1. And these cells, I know exactly what they are. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. These are 3, 4, and 9. So if you exclude these two cells, the odds in this box sum to 12, and the evens sum to 4. So I need in order to get that to be equal, I need the even of these two digits to be 5 more, or I need the evens to sum to 5 more than the odds. Now, because my numbers involved are big enough, I can't make the even sum to 5 more. Did I do that right? 5 more? No, not 5 more. Sorry, I did that wrong. 12 minus 4 is 8. Sorry, no. Sorry. I need the evens to sum to 8 more. Okay, got it. I need the evens to sum to 8 more than the odds, and that's not possible unless I make both of these even, which I do by making that a 2 and that a 6. And making these sum to 8. So now I think both sum to 12, and my difference of 0 is correct. I get no 2 here. So we come over there. trying to decide if I'm ready to look at this. Sven is placing a 5 for me. Chad has been pointing out for a bit. So that is a 5. So yeah, 2, 3, 3, 4. There's a bunch of options for that. Nonetheless. Okay, so there's a 6 down here somewhere. Oh, there's a 6, 7 pair in row 2. That's very good. So this is an 8. No 8, no 6s. 6, 7 pair looking down. Let's see. 8 in box 2. Oh, we got the 8 in box 2. I'm being told that this sees every odd digit, which is very potent. Good spot to J. This cell sees 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So this digit's always even, and so this digit's always odd. And there's lots of odds it's not. So this can only be 3 or 7, which unfortunately still touch every even digit. But still, the fact that this had to be odd is very cool. And so it's only 3 or 7, interestingly enough. Let's see. This being a 6, unfortunately, did not tell me anything about that cell. Yeah, this is a hell of a puzzle for a first puzzle. This is pretty cool. This is demonstrably better than my first puzzle. Let's see. What else can I do? Okay, maybe I really do have to write in what this can be. Okay, so this could be 3 or 9 if it's with the 6, and it could be 4 if it's with the 7. So I guess 3, 4, and 9 are the options, and unfortunately 3, 4, and 9 are digits I already have. Maybe I should think about this 3 cage. If my digits are 3 apart, 1 and 4 is an option. It would have to go in this order. 2 and 6 is not an option because there's a 6 in the cage. Sorry, 2 and 6 does not work. 2 and 5 is an option. Boy, can I not keep track of my numbers. 2 and 5 is an option. It would have to go this way. 3 and 6 is not an option. 4 and 7 would have to go with that being the 4 and that being the 7. 5 and 8, I think, is annoyingly the one that could go either way. Oops. 5 and 8. And so I think that would work. And then I can't do 6 and 9. So yeah, I think there's still lots of options here, unfortunately. So Hawila is suggesting that I look at the total number of odds and evens in this cage to think about the sum of these two. So there are an even number of odds here. There are an odd number of odds here. So that's an odd number of odds total. And so I need an even number of odds between these two cells. So either these two cells are both odd or they're both even. Those are the only options. Oh, well, I just don't have room for 5 odds down here, do I? No, I don't have room for 5 odds, because I only get 1 odd in this. And so I can't put 4 odds in this, because those 4 odds will not add to 2. So I actually know, this is Odd's point, that I actually only have 3 odds here, and so these are both odd. So that's not 4. This is one of those, and it's not 1, 5, or 9. Hey, Kodak, how are you doing? I hope it is well. So if this is 3 or 9, this can't be 7 anymore, so it's a 6, and that's a 7, and that's a 7 and a 6, and a 7 and a 6. In order to make all of that work. Though sadly, now that this is a 6, I still don't know anything about this. Carl says this cage has only one odd, so it contains an odd number of odds. So it contains either one odd or 3 odds, but if it contained 3 odds, the minimum sum of those would be 3, 5, 7, which is 15. And I don't have... I would have to put a 10 in the cage as the even digit in order to make that work, which doesn't work. And actually, it's even worse than that, because 3, 5, 7 isn't even actually possible. So instead, what must be the case is that there is only one odd, and then the evens sum to 5 more or 5 less than that one odd. The minimum sum of the evens is 2, 4, 6. So that's 12 already. And so my odd certainly can't sum to 5 more than 12. So it sums to at least, though, 5 less than 12. So the even in this cage is a 7 or a 9. Sorry, the odd in this cage is a 7 or a 9. And I think we know there has to be both a 2 and a 4. Because if I did 2, 6, 8, for example, that is, if I minimize it, if I don't use both 2 and 4, the minimum would be 2, 6, 8. That would be 16. I would need my odd to be at least 5 less than 16. That's not going to work. And so this 2, 4 has to go in this cage. It definitely goes there. There is a 7 or a 9. Yeah, that's exactly what I was arguing, Jay, is that this had to be a 2 or a 4. That's why I was making the 2-4 argument, is because I wanted to fill a 2 or a 4 into this cell. Now, why I wanted to fill a 2 or a 4 into that cell, that I could not tell you. But that was my fantasy. So it's a 2 or a 4, sorry, a 2 and a 4, and then a 6 or an 8, and a 7 or a 9 that go in here. Which does mean that 5 in the column is not in here. So 5 is just placed in this box, right? 5 can't go in this cage. I would need my evens to sum to too little, and so 5 is just placed here. Weird, but true, I think. So that is a 5. And so now that that's a 5, there's definitely a 9 in here, because just by Sudoku, there's a 9. Okay, and so 9 went with 2, 4, and 8. So this is a 2, 4, 8, 9 quadruple. So therefore, these digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, these are from 3, 6, 7. That one's not a 6. So this one is a 6. So that's a 1 and a 6. That is not a 6 anymore. That's not a 1 anymore. So this odd and even differ by 1. So this odd... Oh, well, this odd needs to go with an even in order that they differ by 1, because otherwise I would need 2 odds that sum to 1 or 2 evens that sum to 1. That's not going to work. So I think I need this to be 7 and 8 in order for that to work. So we have that, I believe. Oops, I hit the wrong button somehow. Oh, no, I didn't. I just did that. Okay, so this is a 3. So this isn't an 8. That is a 9 and a 3 and an 8 and a 9. This isn't a 4 anymore. This isn't a 7 anymore. So let's see. So this is a triple. I guess this is a 2, 5, 8 to finish the row. And this is a triple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 7, 4. Okay, so 1, 4, and 7. Let's just do a count as to where we are before we throw in this digit. 1, 4, and 7. The 1 and the 7 sum to 8, and the 4 sums to 4. So they're currently 4 apart. And remember, we need to have a total of an even number of odds in this box. So we currently have an even number of odds in this box at the 1 and the 7, so we can't make that a 5. This has got to be a 2 or an 8 only. So there's definitely a 5 in this box, but unfortunately 5 in this box goes with both 2 or 8. Okay. So again, my odds definitely sum to 8. My evens sum to 4. So if I add an 8, then my evens now sum to 12, which is not going to work. So I've got to make this a 2, is the answer, in order to make this cage work. So we've got that now all sort of worked out. So that is all pretty cool. So now, now this is a 4 and a 2 while we're at it. So that's a 4. And now this is an 8, making that a 9 and an 8. So there's an 8 up here. 2's over here. So this cage needs, again, an odd number of odds, so it needs 2 evens. So the minimum, so this cage needs 2 evens, so it has to be 2, 8, 9, because it's the only way this is going to work. Because my evens sum to a minimum of 10, and my odds sum to a maximum of 9, so that's just how this is going to work. So this is going to be 2, 8, 9. Uh-oh. Okay, clearly I did that math wrong. Let's try again. So I need 2 evens and an odd. And I need... Oh, right, I don't know there's an 8 in it. Right. The thing is, I don't know there's an 8 in it. I said I know there's an 8 in it, and then I was like, oh, well, there's an 8 in it, so there's not an 8 here. The thing we just proved is there's not an 8 in it. Because if there were an 8 in it, it would have to be 2, 8, 9, and it can't be, because this cell can be none of 2, 8, and 9. So that is an 8. Okay. Progress of a sort. The accidental bifurcation into proving that something doesn't work. So let's see, what is left in this row? Let's fill it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This isn't 5 or 6, that's not 2 or 9. This isn't 6 or 9, and this isn't 2 or 9. So that gives us a 5, 6 pair, which makes that a 2. Makes that a 5 and an 8 and a 5 and an 8. So now that is a 9 over there. So if this were 2 and 6, I would need a 7 in order to make that work. I'd need a 7 or a 9, actually, but it couldn't be a 9. It would have to be a 7. So 2 and 6 here goes with 7. 2 and 5 here would go with... I would need my sum of my evens to be 2 and 5. It would need to be 4 or 6. That doesn't work. So I would need to make my even sum to 6, but because this digit can't be 4, that's not going to work. So this is a 7, meaning that this is a 6, meaning that this is a 1 and a 4 and a 7, meaning that this is a 1. This digit, in fact, let us use our Mr. Magic Goodliff. So that is a 5, a 3, a 4, a 9, a 6, a 4, a a 7, a 3, a 6, a 5, and a betting tree of 2. So congratulations from Zach and I to all of the 2 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. Very nice idea for a puzzle. I liked this this quite a bit. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in here. I had a somewhat similar puzzle to this, except in my version, I guess it was all the shaded and unshaded cells in the cages had to sum to something equal. But really neat idea. I always thought I was going to get to color odds and evens, but I never got to. But we can fix that. I think the odd even coloring will really help. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. There we go. There's the odd even coloring that everyone was waiting for. So thank you to Toto for that. That was very nice. I look forward to doing more Toto puzzles in the future. I will take a second to do a couple things. So one of which is to ask you to take a second to like the stream. If you've not yet liked the stream, please just navigate to find the little thumb and press it. I would much appreciate it. I know you like the stream because you're here, right? You wouldn't be here if you didn't like me. I think you like me. Anyway, so that is request number 1. And I also wanted to just re-mention that on Friday, since I know a bunch of people have come in, since I mentioned it before, on Friday, Tristan is streaming. And so instead of me, so please be supportive and help Tristan make it through the puzzles. It should be fun. But with all of that noted, I am going to take a moment to pull up another puzzle, and then I'll be back shortly. So talk to you all very soon. Alrighty, welcome back. Can you actually see the edge of the rules here? This, by the way, I should say, this is Chaos Loop by Woofer and Jakhob. I hope you can. Okay. By the way, Jay, can you send me the make penpo things look thick again thing? I went back to look. I actually remembered to install it. And then I looked and I didn't have it in DMs with you. Even though I swear I remembered you sending it to me by DM. And it can't have been so long ago. Please tell me it wasn't so long ago. It was before Baby Dragon. That would make me cry. But anyway. We shall do this. So what are the rules of Woofer and Jakob's puzzle? So we have normal irregular Sudoku rules. It was before Baby Dragon? Oh, no. That was so long ago, though. I am bad at remembering to do things, is what I am learning from this. So we have normal chaos construction rules. Which mean that we have regions, but we don't know what the regions are, so we have to determine them ourselves. And so the digits 1 through 9 appear in every row, column, and region, but who knows what the regions are? We need to draw a non-intersecting loop through the centers of cells, which passes through each region exactly once. I'm going to guess my loop moves orthogonally. Although I realize it doesn't say that, so I'm prepared to abandon ship if need be and not assume that. But usually in these puzzles, loops are presumed to be orthogonal, so usually you're not allowed to do this for your loop. There is an example here, for instance, on LMD. And then a digit on a cell with arrows indicates the total number of cells in the same region as that cell that are visited by the loop in the indicated directions, including itself. LMD's example does not answer my question, Eric. But the LMD example is nice in that I can point at it and see, for example, this 3 is a 3 because it points to 3 cells that are on the loop. This 5 is a 5 because it points at 5 cells that are on the loop inside the region. Now, we do have to be very careful because this is counting all of them, not the nearby ones. So my fear with this is that, and this is what usually makes these sorts of puzzles very difficult if it counts this way, is that if the loop leaves the region and comes back into the region, if it's still in the direction, it's still going to count. So we have to be careful. We're not assuming that there's only so many things in the region. Okay. So let us look for cells that are pretty small. For example, let's start here. Oh, the loop passes through each region only once. Okay, that is actually, the rule is actually here, so we don't have to worry about that. So we actually are given a better rule. We're given the country road rule, which is that the loop only passes through each region once. Okay, and let me just check the example. It does not count the arrow itself, even if the arrow is on the loop. Is that correct? 1, 2... Wait, no, maybe it does count the arrow itself? It does count the arrow itself. Okay. Yes, it even says including itself in the rules. There we go. Okay. So this is therefore a 1, 2, or 3. This is therefore a 1, 2, or a 3. And this is therefore a 1, 2, or a 3. Because there's only 3 cells that this could possibly be counting. Ditto this, ditto this. And now this digit and this digit can only be 4 or 5 for chaos construction reasons. And so let me explain what I mean by chaos construction reasons. If this digit is 4, I can connect these 5 cells into an orthogonally connected region. If it's 5, I can, but it's going to take all 9 cells to connect these diagonal cells. If this was a 6, I just wouldn't be able to connect it. So we've actually got a 4-5 pair, and so one of these regions is basically forced to be one of these sort of zigzaggy regions. And there's a couple forms of zigzaggy region it could be, but it's going to be some sort of zigzaggy region like that. So these are going to be 6, 7, 8, 9. Just because of that. Okay, so now this interacts interestingly with this arrow. Because if these two are in the same region, then actually all 3 of these are in the same region. And because otherwise these two are the same digit, and you can't have the same digit repeat in a region. So that is interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are definitely not in the same region. Let's see. So Jay puts this smartly, which is that, wait, is it 1 or 5? I was thinking it would have to be this. Now I think Jay and I disagree on what this can be. Because I think this would be 4 if this were the case. This would be the only way this worked, because I need to put an extra one there. Otherwise, it's a 1. So I think this is 1 or 4. I think, depending on which of those instances it is. This is a 1, 2, 3 as well. No, sorry, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's 4 cells in this direction. This is up to 5. Let's see. Could it be 3? Oh, maybe it can be. Okay, maybe I don't want to make any claims about what this can be. Let's see. So, interestingly, this cell is pretty restricted. Because if this cell grows in this direction, it can only get 3 cells, 4 cells. I don't think this cell... Well, if this cell can get to here, then I guess it's got to be done. Oh, maybe it could even take that. Maybe this is not actually that restricted. Okay, so so I think I also have to look at what goes with this arrow. Maybe not. Maybe I don't want to think about that. Oh, I should think about the loop, right? I should think about the loop, because the loop actually is going to visit all of these cells. Because this is not the number of cells. I was briefly, or sorry, I had completely forgotten and was thinking that this was talking about the number of cells in the region. This isn't the number of cells in the region. This is the number of cells in the region on the loop. So that's actually interesting, because the 5 region, the loop is going to be forced to do... it's going to be forced to go through the whole rigmarole with the thing. So there's loop sort of all over this place. But the one of these is a 5, so there's definitely loop in the center cell. So, okay, so that's interesting. The 5 always takes row 5, column 5. And so because the 5 always takes row 5, column 5, we need a bedding tree. So the bedding tree is going to be here, for lack of a better bedding tree. If someone knows a better bedding tree, let me know. But whichever of these is a 5 definitely takes row 5, column 5. And so that means whichever of them is a 4 actually is going to be forced, therefore, to take each of those. So the 4 region actually is always going to take everything backwards. And so what we know for sure is that those two are in the same region and these two are in the same region. And then I don't think we know the 5 doesn't do something like that. Actually, in this specific case, I do know the 5 doesn't do that. Because if the 5 did this, these 2 arrows would both be 5. So that's not going to work. So actually, in this case, if this is a 5, then it doesn't take that cell, so it always takes this cell. And if it's a 4, it always takes that cell. So it could actually extend the yellow back 1 cell. If this is a 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, it can't do this for exactly the same reason, because this being a 5 and that being a 5 will break. So it always takes this cell as well. So we can back up a bit. Now, in each of these instances, so if this is a 5, it would break if it did that, because of this cell now is the one that breaks. And exactly the same thing is true over here. If this does this and it's a 5, it breaks. So actually, we get to extend even one further back. So we actually get all the way back, and then this cell is yellow or purple, but we can't mark that. But this cell is always yellow or purple, and therefore these cells are a 2-3 pair. Yeah, these cells are a 2-3 pair. For sure, because the 4 region, it's a 2, and in the 3 region, it's a 3. 3-4 because... 3-4 because it counts itself. Now, as is pointed out by Afraid Not, we now know that the corner is in the loop, so every loop that has to pass through a corner, it has to take the corner. So we get these loop corners. Like that, going into the corners. Because a loop that visits the corner has to do that. So we know that much. We get a little bit of loop. Line dance. Let's see. Okay, so that's cool. And now we know everywhere along this diagonal and everywhere along this diagonal is visited by the loop. But we also know the loop gets over here somehow. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful that we don't sort of like connect the loop from yellow to purple through row 5. Or we're going to break these cells in a gajillion ways. So we got to be careful about that. Now this cell actually can't be very big anymore. Because it's certainly not yellow. And so this is at most a 3 now. Likewise, this cell is certainly not purple, so it's at most a 3. Yeah, the way that these things are going to work with this triangle is going to be quite a thing. Actually, okay, so I wish I could mark this cell as yellow or purple, but that's just not a thing I can do. But I'm going to mark this cell as gray for a second, because I'm going to do what is maybe not my favorite thing. I'm going to count. So that's 1, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there are 16 cells in here. So inside the triangle, we need a 9-cell region, because if we don't put a 9-cell region there, we're not going to finish it with yellow and purple. But we don't have room for 2 9-cell regions. So there's exactly 1 9-cell region in here. And that 9-cell region leaves over 7 cells. So 7 cells out of this stuff are yellow and purple. It's really tempting to say, and therefore all of these cells are yellow and purple, because that would be 7. But I don't think that's forced yet. That it does that. I do think this 6 just can't be yellow or purple. It certainly can't be part of the one that's 4 cell, or sorry, the one that's 5 cells. The one that's 4 cells, maybe only just. Oh yeah, only just it could be. Never mind. So we're close to knowing. Actually, this cell, I'm pretty convinced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, these 3 cells, I think no matter how I do this... No, this one could be. This one can't be. This one is definitely part of what I'm going to call green. This is part of the region that is neither yellow nor purple, that lives over in this area. So that is good to know. Now, interestingly, I'm now noting the loop isn't allowed to leave the region and re-enter it. Is that interesting? Maybe that's not at all interesting. I think it is interesting, actually. I think it's going to force what happens on the 4 side. Because on the 5 side of this, remember, one of these two, one of yellow and purple is a 5. Whichever one it is, not both of these cells are yellow-purple. And so, on that side, the loop just leaves the country at that point, and is never allowed to return. And so from there, it either just leaves the area entirely, or whatever else. Because I need to connect purple, and that's going to require at least 3 cells, afraid not, and I believe connecting purple requires at least 3 cells, and then purple only has 2 cells left. And there aren't ways that it could take the green cell, I do not believe. It's always possible I am making an incorrect claim about geometry. But I think I'm right in this instance. Hey, Steven. So yeah, so the purple has sort of 2 spare cells, or sorry, the one that's 4 has 2 sort of spare cells. Okay. So Carl is looking at this cell, and saying, okay, what happens if this is a 4? Well, in that universe, this has got to be a 5. 4, 5, 3. What's wrong with 4, 5, 3? Oh, right, because 5 and 3 don't go together. Yes, right. So if this is a 4, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so if this is a 4, this is a 5, which makes that purple, which makes this 3, except now this isn't purple. So it's a second 4. So this is never a 4. So this is more than 4. And what that means is this cell is always purple. And if this cell... Oh, no, I don't know it's always loop yet. So, actually, wait, I do know. Well, I know down here I have some loop. Because this can't be equal to that. But I don't quite know how that works out yet. Why did I think this could be 3? This can't be 3. This can only be 1 or 2, right? Yeah, this is only 1 or 2. And this is only 1 or 2. These two are actually a 1-2 pair. Because they can't take that cell. That cell is the 5, and the 5 has nothing to do. So this digit's at least a 3, which is interesting. Have I already broken this puzzle? I'm realizing I know this digit's at least a 3, but knowing this digit's at least a 3 doesn't necessarily tell me that those cells are all the same color. Because it could be that, say, the region did this. I was about to say that because this digit's at least a 3, these have to be the same color, but that doesn't have to be, because it could be a 3 and do that. Which is unfortunate. I don't think that that's a problem. Actually, no, I kind of think our logic about the yellow and the purple at the beginning, I think, was completely wrong. But I don't really want to go back and redo it, because I'm almost certain it's going to give us the right answer. But it's going to be... Oh, no, sorry. The logic about the yellow and purple was correct, because it was sort of forced... It was forced to be that many cells, because that was the only number of cells I could do. This just couldn't be bigger than 5. And so I couldn't accidentally sort of like leave and come back. There wasn't sort of enough geometric room with this being a 5 to do that. Okay. So I think my argument was not well made. But I think it can be salvaged if you go back and say the word 5 a lot. So I don't think we have to restart the puzzle. Oh, this cell definitely isn't part of the yellow or purple that's here. So this cell can only be a 1, 2, or a 3. Oh yeah, I don't think this has to be purple. I think you're completely right, Jay. I think all that's true is there has to be a purple in one of these 3 cells. So maybe those 2 are purple, and that's where this sees a purple. I think you could make a complicated connectedness argument about the loop passing through it, that the loop would have to leave in order for that to do that, but that seems to put it mildly unpleasant, so I don't want to do that if I don't have to. I do agree with Afraid Not that we have a... and this actually is a Jovi wing, the very rare Jovi wing, spotted in a chaos construction, because usually in a chaos construction everything is an X-wing. But this is authentically a Jovi wing that... the 4 in column 1 must be green, because it's not yellow or purple. Yes. Again, the weird instance where in a chaos construction we're actually using Jovi wings. I now wonder if this puzzle was built to demonstrate that there are Jovi wings in chaos constructions. Let's see. Isabella says if row 7, column 3 is 5, then row 6, column 4 is at least 6. And that breaks. Okay. So if this is a 5, the thing to remember is as soon as this is a 5, this is a 4. And so now this thing has to be bigger than 4. But it being bigger than 4 is going to require that I put 2 purples down here. And remember, when this is 5, I don't have any purples to give that aren't in these cells. All the purples must be gluing the region together. So that's right. This can't be a 5. It's a 4. That is really nicely, both really nicely set and very nicely spotted to Isabella. And now we get to do our digidance. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Always appreciate you taking out the tap shoes for us. So that's a 4 and a 5 and a 3 and a 4, and the center cell is yellow. Uh-oh, I did that very badly. One moment while I do better. So that's a 4 and a 5, and a 4 and a 3. I don't know how I did that. It was not good. But anyway, this is still yellow. That part was still right. And so this digit we know is more than 4, so it is 5 or 6, probably. And I know some cells that are now definitely green. Because yellow can't, again, yellow is not allowed to take any cells outside of here. And purple can't get past this 6. Can purple even get to the 6? I convinced myself before that, purple can get to the 6. But purple can't get past this row. So therefore, these 3 cells are green. And so now if those 3 cells are green, this digit can only be a 1, a 2, or a 3. If it was a 3, that would sure be interesting. So there does need to be a purple down here somewhere. Where exactly is unknown. Let's see. There are 7 purple and yellow cells in here. Afraid not is what the number you're looking for. There are 7 purple and yellow cells. We have a total of 9 cells to give between these two. No, sorry. We have a total of 4 plus 5. Yeah, we have a total of 9 cells to give between these two, and we need 7 of them. But as Afraid Not points out, one of them is purple and is coming down here. So we only get to punt on one of them. So in other words, of these cells, only at most one of them is yellow or purple, something like that, is the true statement. So we lost a degree of freedom, but we still have a degree of freedom. But I will task Afraid Not with paying attention to when we lose the other degree of freedom. Because if we lose the other degree of freedom, then we know everything. Let's see. It is true, though, I can green more cells because of Afraid Not's point. One of these... No, I can't, because the one that's down here doesn't have to be one that's not doing work. It could be one that's doing the connecting. So I don't think we know, and I certainly don't think we know the answer to Nicholas's question at the moment. Let's see. So... Yeah, there's certainly some cells we know aren't purple, but I'm not giving random cells colors. Giving random cells colors in a chaos construction is the way madness lies. That is an excellent spot from Garion. This digit being 3, or this digit being 3 breaks because of Afraid Not's point, which is that it pushes 2 yellows to the outside, but we already have a purple push to the outside. We only have 1 degree of freedom. So that would eat both of them. And so that buys us a 1-2 pair. That was a very good spot to Afraid Not. Sorry, to Afraid Not and Garion together. That was a very good spot. So one of these pairs of cells is actually connected. Interestingly. Yeah, we need 9 in, 2 out. And one of the outs has to go over here. But it could be, for example, that these are the 2 outs, which would be horrible. But what are you going to do? And of course, this cell has to be loop, right? Yes, this cell definitely has to be loop. I don't have any great way to mark that. But the loop has to visit this cell. Because if the loop doesn't visit this cell, then this isn't going to work. Okay, so Jay Dyer is looking at, can it be that both of these are yellow? And so if this is yellow, then the thing we're going to have problems with is that, remember, the yellow region is basically a long line. And if the yellow region is basically a long line, I have to zigzag the whole way down the line. If both of these are yellow, then this zigzags straight past this cell, and now this has been created a dead end. This has created a dead end. So these are not both yellow. And that's huge because that's our degree of freedom we were looking for. These are not both yellow. And one of these cells is purple. Therefore, that's my 2 outs. And so we have eaten our other degree of freedom. And so therefore, these are yellow. And we can start drawing in some more line. Because the loop has to, again, go through all of this. Now, I need all... Sorry, I still need... So one of the outies is yellow, therefore the other outie is purple. So this can only be a 6, because this is only seeing... Am I doing this right? I'm now suddenly afraid I'm doing this wrong. So we've got... No, so the point is to think how many things stick out. And the answer is 2 things stick out. One of them is the yellow that connects these 2, and one of them is this purple. So this is therefore a 6. Okay, I think I am right about this being a... Sorry, about this being a 5. Sorry, this is a 5, I believe. So because there is a purple outie sort of sticking out of this. Uh, yeah, and so the only way that that's going to work is that for this to be purple. I agree with that. They just have no other way to do that, afraid not, because the loop isn't allowed to enter and leave a region. It's that rule that does it. But you're complete. So that was actually when I read the rules, and I did not appreciate that a line couldn't leave and re-enter. That was what I was terrified of. Because I was like, oh no, because it could like zig back and forth all over it. And then who knows? Isabella is convinced this cell is a 2. Right, because... Do I believe that? Well, I believe that this cell is green. Let's start there. This cell is green because No, I don't believe that. Sorry. There's 2 different things I keep counting, which are how many purples I get on the inside and how many yellows I get on the inside beyond the connecting ones. Yeah, but Isabella, this is not counting the number of green cells. It's counting the number of loop cells. If it was counting the number of green cells, I would 100% agree. I think you're right, but I don't have a good enough handle on what this looks like yet to be confident in filling it in. But that's my problem, is sort of visualizing what all the ways that this sort of gets filled in with 1 green and 1 yellow cell look like. So outside of these cells, purple still needs 2 more cells, and they're both on the inside. So purple is definitely going to take 2 cells beyond these 2, or beyond these on the inside, I believe. Now I do believe, J40's point that this is a 2, because I know every yellow cell has loop. And one of these is yellow and one of them is a green, and so therefore this is a 2. I don't know why my 2s have suddenly turned green. Is that the 2? So this is a 2. So these aren't 2. Oh, it's because I somehow entered number mode? That's why. Sorry, this is supposed to be a Sudoku 2, not a number mode 2. That's what happened. So these are a 1-3 pair. So either all of these cells are loop, or all of these cells are loop. I think it's pretty easy to imagine either of them being true. At least in my current state of imagination. It's worth remembering that if this cell is a 3, this cell is a 4. So do I know that this cell is loop? I think is what Garion is trying to get at. So the world where this is yellow does not look good, is I think what Garion is saying. So if this is yellow, then my loop does not connect in through here. And if my loop doesn't connect in through here, because the other end of yellow is out here, then my loop is sort of disconnected from yellow entirely. And then the only way sort of in and out to green is through purple. And you can't go in and out through purple. So actually, in a really weird and interesting way, this cell can't be yellow because of the structure of yellow. So this cell is in fact green, and this cell is yellow. And this cell is yellow, of course. And so we could put in some sort of edging, because I know that yellow is not taking any more. No, I don't. What am I saying? No, I do know that yellow isn't taking any more of these cells. Yellow's not taking... In fact, yellow's just done. Yellow is just done. I was trying to make a sophisticated argument that yellow didn't take those cells, but yellow is at... Yellow is 9 cells, so it's not a sophisticated argument. So we get that. And so now that that's forced, this is forced. And so this is now a 2, because now it just does flat out C2 cells. So Isabella was correct. I keep being like, oh, this is a corner, so it has to take it, but that's not how the world works. So this is a 1. So this is a 2. So I'm going to invent a new color for this. These two are the same color and are both loop. Okay, so now, how many cells do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 13 cells in here. 9 of them are green, 4 of them are purple. And purple only gets 4 more cells. So exactly as Afraid Not says, purple now can't have any more cells outside of the loop. And so in particular, or outside of the triangle or whatever. In particular, those are both purple, and we can fill in an edge along here for purple. And so we get all of that. And so so if the loop doesn't visit here, the loop just doesn't, or this doesn't see 3. So the loop definitely goes through here. So the loop has to visit that, and it's a corner. The other loop exit is into green, from purple into green. So this cell is actually a corner, because the loop needs to visit it, but it can't leave. If I draw in this line, now I've got a huge problem, because the only way I have my loop flowing is from purple into green into yellow, so I only get one more loop crossing, and it has to go from purple into green. So this is actually a corner. It actually does that. Likewise, now I certainly can't leave purple, or I'll have a huge problem. So that's inside the loop. I can't close the loop, so those connect. So I actually get all of that loop. That comes up there, so that I know. Okay. So Carl is now saying that if this is purple, it is 3. which is now true because these are all loop, and so it can't be purple. So it must be green. So therefore it's a 1. I agree. This is a 3, and therefore it is green. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only one more green cell. So therefore this cell's definitely purple. This isn't a 1 anymore. This isn't a 3 anymore. Oh, if this can't be a 3, this can't be very big at all. Because these two are now forced to be in different regions. Because this not being able to be a 3 means that this is... Right. It does mean they have to be in different regions, right? This certainly can't be a 4. So if these are in the same region, they're counting the same thing, unless there's loop in that region back here. Maybe there's loop in the region back here. I agree with the assessment that this is a corner. And now I'm forced to just go up like that. There's no real problems with that. Oh, wow, there's a 3-6 hidden pair in yellow. That's gorgeous. These are the only two cells that can have 3 and 6 in yellow, so they're a 3-6 pair. Per Medi, that is a very good spot. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for what it's worth. That one's not a 1. I didn't screw up with this logic, did I? I'm still worried that I screwed this up when I said that I knew that this not being able to be a 3 meant this couldn't be a 4. No, I think I like that. I think I don't yet know that these can't be the same in the same region, because I think that region could have loop like that going through it. And then it would still be able to have them be different. Oh, wow, the purple 2 can only go one place. That's a nice spot to Josh. And pure brutality on the setting there. Pure brutality. So that gets us the rest of that. Let's see. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This cell is not a 3 or a 6. Let's see. Oh, smart. Garion points out now the 3 in column 1 can only go here. 3 goes there, 6 goes there. No 6 there. And Nicholas has a good point about the 5 in column 2, because the 5 in column 1 is definitely green. So the 5 in column 2 can only go here. Which is interesting. This cell can't be a 6, which is not very interesting. This is a 7, 8, or 9. Okay, this loop needs to leave into one of these cells. Afraid Not also sees the 5. Ah, the purple 2 makes this a 3. Is very interesting. So it means most of these cells have to be in the region. In particular, it means this cell is definitely in the same region as that one. Right? If these two cells are not in the same region, these two numbers are definitionally the same. So these two are in the same region, and that is going to lock these cells off. There's not enough room. Oh, maybe there is if the thing sort of bends around. No. Do I believe this? I think I'm creating a connectedness sort of problem if I make this. Maybe I can just get away with doing that those three are in the same region. I think, and then I can just squeeze just enough of this in here that I can wrap this around here like that. I think that's possible, unfortunately. So, let's see. One in column 1 is in purple, so these aren't 1, J40 points out. And now that gives me a 7, 8, 9 triple, placing a 1 in column 2. Good spot there. If these are both the same color, does that break? If these are both the same color, all of these are also that color. And these two also are that color, and the region looks exactly like this. And that is all very possible. That looks like the right number of cells and everything. So I think that's probably what happens. But there's some other universe where this just barely encloses a region that bulges out down here, sort of at the bottom. Which is not great. Being pointed out that I can remove 1 from those cells. Let's see. See, I kind of want to remove red and pencil mark that I know these two cells are the same color. I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to mark that these two cells are the same color. Is there any way that this isn't red, in light of the arrow and the loop stuff? Maybe I can argue from loop stuff that this has to be red. Because if this is not red, let's just imagine, just pontificate for a second with me that this is orange. Then I know this cell is loop, and this cell is loop, and this cell sees loop. So either it is loop or that is loop. In this universe, remember in this universe, because that's a 3, this is also red. And so this cell is loop. But that's loop and that's loop. That's still possible, because the loop could go in here and then come out here and then wind around. Oh, darn it. Dagnammit. That is crazy. I don't think it is, Ambrose. I thought it was, but I don't think it is. Yeah, orange could be 1. I think I would have space to connect the reds. I'm convinced I'd have space to connect the reds. If I make this region orange, I could definitely connect the reds around it. That would be fine. I know that this number is more than 3. So I can pencil mark that I know that this is at least bigger than that. So what's the maximum number of cell? What's the maximum number this can be? Because, oh no, because it points out diagonally. So there's actually, it could be quite large. Okay. Okay, so people are complaining I haven't bifurcated enough, so let's bifurcate some more. We're imagining the world, so the bifurcation point is that this is orange. And so we're imagining the world, what does that look like? So note in this world, all of these cells are red or orange, and red sort of comes around like this. And so what would have to happen in order for this to work is that I would have to do something like have this go around through here and come out there. And I think this is okay. I mean, it would have to, of course, be, it would have to go out over a little bit further. Well, orange is too small, sure, but just move this over. The smallness of orange is not, oh, wow. It's because of the border, I think. So, oh yeah, I should unwind to know what I actually had. So I think I see now why this is broken. But if this is an intended deduction, it's terrible. But the problem is, although I can very easily do this, the problem is that, actually, let's see. Okay, so that makes that a 2. So let's see. So let's redo this. So I'd have to do that, and then I'd have to do one more orange and then red around. And now red is too big. Interesting. Yeah. There's no good way that I can think of for this, to see this. Like, I still don't see this other than that try it and it doesn't look like it works. But it's very close to working. But so I don't think we've proven this in any way, shape, or form. But we're just going to take that this has to be red, because we tried really hard. The home team tried hard to make it work the other way and couldn't quite get there, so that's going to be red, and now red is going to do that. And then red is done, because now red is these cells. So this being a 3, this needs to be loop. I need one non-loop cell in here, and so this is a 2. I think I agree that that Afraid Not has a rigorous proof of this. It's still a huge stretch. I agree with Ambrose. Now the 3 can't be loop, because if the 3 is loop, I don't have a way without leaving the country to come back down here. So this is not loop, and so therefore all of these are loop, and in particular, this loop I have to have gotten in through here. And I need this to be loop, so it's a corner, because I need to leave now. This line is forced. And so this is a corner, so it needs to be in. And so now I have a funny, this is resolving a uniqueness problem, because if I didn't have this clue here, this could either go straight across or come up and do that. That's cute. But now, because this cell is counted, eventually Sudoku is going to tell us which of these two things that loop does. But I certainly can write in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can only be 6 or 7. Okay. So these two are in the same region, and that region is not red. So we can give it a color. We can make it orange. The little orange region that wanted to fit over here. It's hard for this to not be orange, but I think it might be possible for the time being for that to be true. Let's see. Aside from that part, I have really enjoyed this puzzle. It's funny, actually, in the Woofer JFG, or in the Woofer Jacob interview, they talked about this break into the Renbon puzzle that they did. I think it was Vivian. It was not the one I did recently. It was the one before that. And they said there was something where they were like, well, we don't really know exactly how it works, but we're sure it doesn't work this way. And then, of course, I spent forever trying to convince myself that it didn't work that way. And it didn't work that way. But it sort of like just shows the sort of the distinction in mindset towards things, which is interesting. All right. But I found it very funny that specific thing, that specific moment was mentioned. It's funny, that's not even one I remembered, actually. I did not remember finding some horrible thing in that Renbon puzzle. So if I didn't like it at the time, it did not stick. Okay, this digit sees lots of things. This is probably the one that chat was telling me about. No, it's not. Row 6, column 7 is what people are talking about. But this sees 1, 2, 3, so this is at least a 4. But it can't be bigger than 5. So this is I'm going to look at the one that other people in chat were talking about in a second. But this cell's very restricted. It can only be a 4 or a 5. And so the one people were talking about was row 6, column 7. So this I don't think I see what's going on with this cell, that it seems super restricted. Let's look at this cell some more. So Carl is asking if it can be a 5. There might be a geometric problem with it being a 5. So it being a 5 would force it... That's gorgeous. I love that. That is a great setting and a great spot to Carl. If it was 5, it's forced to look like this. And it doesn't work because of where the loop would enter this region. The loop would enter the region in a place that would make it impossible for this to be 5. It could be at most 4. So this is definitely a 4. That's really cool. I am impressed. Now I want to try and say something articulate about the geometry of what cells in here we know are in the same region as this, but Lord knows. I know this cell sure is an orange. It was wrong? Garion says the deduction was wrong. Why couldn't it take row 4, column 7? Oh, you're right. The region... So, right. So, it could do that instead. It's all of these that are forced. Okay, so it could be a 5. But the problem is that this exact arrangement, this is the arrangement where this isn't a 5, it breaks because of this arrow being a 5, which is a problem because it would repeat a 5 in the region and the row. So this is still broken, but I like the argument a lot less. I really liked it when there was only one case. When there's two cases and it breaks in one case by considering exactly what the thing looks like there, I'm less enthralled with the logic. But this is still a 4. So what is that going to do? I'm suspecting that probably it's going to be something like that is going to be my bet as to what this is going to look like. I do find the logic that shows up in all of these arrowy puzzles of having to avoid repeats very satisfying. Like, I don't know why, but somehow I think that, like, all of the, like, don't repeat arrow numbers things, like, it's all sort of, like, proof by cases, but for whatever reason, in that specific case, I find it a little bit more satisfying. I think it's like the enjoyment a lot of people get out of numbered rooms puzzles. I am noticing that there's a 4 in one of these cells. I doubt it will be relevant, but it could be. Let's see. Row 3, column 5 is restricted by Sudoku. That's worth noting. So it's not 1, 2, 3. It's allowed to be 4. It's not allowed to be 5. And then it could be like 6, 7, 8, or 9. But it's in... Oh, it doesn't... It has to be in the same region as this, right? There's no way that that's the one cell. Is there? Is there a way that this is the one cell this 4 doesn't see? That seems exceptionally impossible to me. But there is one cell on this diagonal that is allowed to not be in the same region as this 4. But let's just imagine that world. Then all of these cells are in a region and this one isn't. Then I have to squeeze 9 cells under this, and that's not going to work. Even I will grant that that's not going to work. So this is actually a 6, 7, 8, or 9. It is in the same region as that. What's the most it could possibly be? It can't possibly be 9, can it? So we know it gets 4 on this diagonal. So this needs to see at least 2 cells off this diagonal in order to get up to 6. And so it needs to see at least 2 cells up here. Oh boy, there's some math going on here. I still think it's probably going to be this one that's going to we're going to have to prove that we can't make that cell in the same region as these. Yeah, I think we could probably rule out 8 and 9 if it was important. I think this is going to be forced once we understand what cell is missed. And I think it's this cell. I think that has to be the cell that's not. And then this is going to be orange, and this is going to be forced to do something like that. And then we're going to know exactly what this is because it's going to be minimized. That is my my guess. But presently, we have the problem that we don't actually know Actually, maybe we do now know that they're not all in the same region. Because if these were all in the same region, those would also be in the region, and this would have to be a 5 at most. Right, this would, because now I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, this would be a 5 at most. So we do actually know, we did not before, but we do actually know one of these cells is not in the region with the 4. So that's what we just disproved, Isabella. We just disproved the possibility that there's one in here, but it's not visited by the loop. Because then this digit couldn't get up to 6 or 7. I mean, the problem is I don't know any cells in this region, and it might be orange. I guess it's probably not orange. I bet we can prove it's not orange. Because if it were orange, I'd need at least 4 cells up here. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, 7, 8, 9. Oh, this is in the danger zone where the thing I tried ended up 1 cell off, so now I think there's probably a way to make it work. Okay, so I need 4 cells on this diagonal minimum. That's 4. I need to connect these 4 cells, which I cannot do with any existing cells. That's 3. And then these 2, that's 2. I think I legitimately can prove it would take 10 cells to make the 4 orange. So I think the 4 is not orange, so the 4 is blue, and so this is blue. So we've got that. So let's see. Are there any other cells out of these that it definitely wouldn't work if that cell wasn't blue? So I think this one. I think if this cell's not blue, I think we have a huge problem. If this cell is not blue, then these 2 are, and they connect around it, and they certainly don't leave it 9 cells to finish. So this cell, definitely blue, which makes that cell definitely blue. Jay gave an argument earlier that this was blue, which may or may not have been the argument. I did not see Jay's argument earlier, but there was an argument earlier, I am told, that made this cell blue, so it was probably that argument. Let's see. I think it's very conceivable that this sort of runs around out there, or that, again, sort of this is all orange and it runs around up there. Like that. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. We only have 2 places for a 4 in green now. I'm just going to pencil mark. Let's see. Woofer says this should help. Oh, wait. Okay, so I did some math wrong earlier, I think. This needs 3 cells, not on the No, sorry. No, it is 2. It is 2. It needs 2 cells, not on the diagonal. And above here. That's what I think, J40. That's what I believe is true. But I don't think I'm prepared to claim it yet. Oh, so Nicholas is claiming that if I do the thing I want to do, which is this, I can't make this digit high enough. Which is true, because if I do the thing I want to do, this digit is supposed to be a 6, but it's in fact at most a 4. So the arrangement that I thought was going to be correct is not. Which is interesting. So I think that proves this cell is blue. Because if this cell is not blue, then we have to wrap around it like that. And we have to go up here and get that. And now we're already at 9 cells. So if this is not blue, it's completely forced. So this cell is blue, which makes that cell blue. Okay, and so now we know about 7 cells in blue. I don't know which of these 2 cells is blue, but together that accounts for 7 cells that are not seen by this. And so we only have 2 cells left, which I now believe J40's argument that makes this a 6. I'm not prepared to make a new region up here. I know it's not blue, but knowing a cell isn't blue is not enough for me to give it a color yet. Do I know that this cell is not blue? I think I probably do. Because if this cell was blue, how is it connecting to blue? Because again, it would only have one more cell to connect to blue, and this just can't be blue because, oh crap, it can be blue. Dagnammit. This can be blue because it's not counting cells, it's counting loop. So actually blue could... Oh wait, no, that doesn't fulfill the 6. That doesn't fulfill the 6 at all. So no, that's not possible. Somehow in my brain, I was briefly trying to count this like compass style, like, oh, these are up here, so they count, but they don't count at all. Making those 2 blue does not fix the 6. Nothing that does not fix the 6 or connect these 2 is allowed. The remaining 3 cells in blue, one of them connects these 2, and one of them fixes the 6. And 2 of them fix the 6. So this cell and this cell are not blue. And so in particular, if this cell is not blue, it does not have a whole lot of options as to what number it can be. In particular, it is at most 5. No, it's at most 6. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it sees lots of things. So it sees a 1 and a 2 and a 4. At the very least. So this can only be 3, 5, or 6 to do that. So now what cells is blue conceivably allowed to take? So we said blue is not allowed to take that cell. So the only cells blue can take in order to get its 2 cells are these. However, if blue took that cell, that's a huge problem. And blue just can't get to this cell with the number of cells. So in fact, the 2 blue cells are these. So we've got those cells being blue, and we have a huge region over here. I guess I'm willing to give that a color now that I've got all of this stuff. So let's grab all of that over there. And now this all being blue actually greatly impacts this cell, as Jay Dyer points out, because now these cells can't count. So now the most this can sum to is 4, or sorry, the most this could possibly be is 4. It couldn't be 4 anyway, for loop reasons, but I don't even have to think about it, thankfully. And so this is just a 3. This can't be purple. Because purple already has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe it could be. That does not. Oh, purple could do that. That's an acceptable thing that purple could do with its life. Okay, I think I should probably be able to draw in some of the loop in blue now. Because the loop actually has to visit all of these cells. And so if the loop has to visit all of these cells, I know, by the way, let me just mark off. I know blue doesn't grow in this direction at all. So this needs to be visited by the loop, and it's a corner. This is visited by the loop, and it's a corner. This can't close the loop, so it's got to go that way and that way. This cell needs to be visited, so it goes that way. Oh, you're right. Sorry. Afraid Not is totally right. We've got to back up. I think the purple part is correct. I think that part is correct. So I think, or sorry, I should say, I think the blue part we did is correct. But right, this could still turn out to be orange or something like that. Crazy, where this ends up still being a 5 because of that sort of sneaking off. Now, the fact that in so doing, it would probably have to take this cell, we might be able to math it out and force it to be a 3. I would bet $10 it's a 3, let me put it that way. But it's true, we have not carefully done it. Okay, so this cell is visited and is a corner, because if it doesn't visit this, what happens? If it, sorry, it needs to visit this. Is it allowed to leave here? I'm now worried that it could leave here if it did something something else. I think I probably need to think about how it needs to leave here. Right. The point is, it definitely leaves from here, because this cell cannot connect blue to blue. So it definitely leaves here. And it doesn't enter blue over here. Because the line would have to get up here for it to enter blue from this side, and the line has not done so, and could only do so by going through blue, which would just be an even bigger disaster. So I think I also argued this poorly before, but this really is a corner, so now that happens. I can't close the loop, so this comes down like that, and this can't leave without visiting that, so it then goes there. Oops, sorry, I did not mean to extend that 2 cells. Okay, so we've got all of that. So, and I know the loop has to get to here. But I don't know how yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I took this, my loop would have to look like that. Or sorry, my purple would have to look like that. But that's okay, I think. Good point from Garion. Now this cell only has one direction it can go. Because it can't enter red and it can't enter blue, which is going to give us what blue does. Because now this can't enter blue here, and it can't go up. But if this cell is blue, I can't make the 4 loop, because blue is done. So blue actually finishes here. Like that. And now I know that blue does that. And so now this cell is orange. That was a very smart, that was very cool setting and very, very cool deducing. So we've got that there. Okay. What's wrong with this being purple? Or is it purple? I don't know. Good point, from Jay Dyer. I was thinking, well, it couldn't visit orange at all if it didn't go down. But it does have to visit orange more because of the 2. So we actually do know it can't connect across. If it connected across, orange would be done being visited, and orange is not. And now I know it can't connect here, because then the 2 wouldn't finish. So there's like an imaginary X here. And so because of that imaginary X, that definitely goes over. Oh, but this can't be orange now, is the point. Because if this is orange... Oh, maybe it can. Never mind. It might be able to sort of loop around like... No, it can't. If this is orange, then my loop is done. Because my loop... If this cell is orange, my loop goes from red to purple to green to yellow to orange and never visits blue at all. So this is not orange. This is a new color. And so this is going to be pink, and it's going to pinken its way out there. This is orange. And so this line now, it could just go into orange here, because I don't know anything about pink yet. Yeah, the 2 is on the loop. We know that. But we don't know how the 2 is on the loop yet, I don't believe. Probably we do if we're willing to sort of like carefully contemplate it. Right. This 6 gave us the 7 down here to break the uniqueness problem that we mentioned earlier. So we fixed the uniqueness problem. So we can go back and remove 7 from these cells. So one of these 2 is definitely a 7. For whatever good that does us. This isn't a 7 for whatever good that does us. And later we're going to need to use the fact that this cell can't be the blue 7 because it sees the yellow 7. Ooh, good spot to Garion. 4 in column 5 is actually placed here because I can't repeat the 4 in either red or blue. So this is the 4. The 6 in red, Mehdi points out, is down here. Oops. And so these aren't 6, is Mehdi's point. So now the question is, can this really be orange? And I think now we know too much orange for this to be able to be orange. Because if this is orange, it's going to have to take all of these, and now it's got one cell to connect those. That's not going to work. So I think we now know that this really is a 3. And so we know the loop visits all of these cells. And so I think we actually know, therefore, that the loop does... yeah, this cell is visited and it's a corner. So the loop does that, at the very least. Oh, right, the pink loop can't enter orange for the same reason why we got pink in the first place. The pink loop can't enter orange, because if the pink loop enters orange, then we've completed the loop. So the pink goes down there. Got it. So one of these 2 cells... Actually, no, sorry. That cell itself is a 3. Blue needs a 3. Oh, no, sorry. That cell could be a 3. The blue 3 goes in one of 2 places. I think the blue 3 goes in one of these 2 places. Let's see. This is a 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, or 8. Isabella's interested in the purple 3, but I don't yet see it. 3 in column 4 is there or there. Oh, it's not there because there's a 3 in row 1. I was missing the 3 in row 1. The 3 in row 1 probably helps a lot. So this is the 3 in column 4, as Jay points out. I think I know there's no way that these cells aren't pink. Because pink has to somehow... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How on earth is this going to work? How is pink going to get over here to connect to blue? Because pink has to actually connect here, right? I'm missing something about the connection here. Oh, maybe... Sorry, orange can go to blue. Never mind. Orange can go to blue. Sorry, I was thinking that pink had to connect into blue, but pink doesn't have to connect into blue. Never mind. Orange can connect into blue. That's fine. This cell can't be very many things because it's not blue and it's not purple, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is 1 too small to be purple. So this cell can only actually be a 1. I think this cell just is a 1. Because it's a 1 or a 2, and it's not a 2 by Sudoku. And I know it's not more than 2 because it's not blue and it's not purple. So this being a 1 is interesting. So let's hunt purple 3s first, though. So purple can't get below row 3, right? Purple has 3 cells to grow, and it either extends one first, in which case then it can't get below row 3, or it does go down, in which case it's already done that. So the point is the 3s in these rows are yellow and blue, and then the other one must be purple. And so if that's purple, those are purple, and purple is done. So we have this. Looking like that after that 1. Let's see. Oh yes, the line, this is a corner because the line hasn't visited everything in purple it needs to yet, so it goes up at least 1 cell. Let's see, the things that are left in this row, one of these 2 is a 4, because this row doesn't have a 4 yet. We've got a 5, 6, and then the rest of it's 7, 8, 9. Unfortunately, in row 4, the 4 has 2 places it could go. Ah, that's a smart point. Where is the 3 in row 4, asks Jay. And so it can't repeat in a region with a 3, and so it's actually just outright placed there. Let's I have almost all my 3s now. Can I place my 3 in this row now? Oh, not quite, right? Let's see, let's pencil mark row 6, column 3. I don't think that's the cell that you mean. Oh, row 3, column 6. Yes, so this cell is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. The other row 6, column 3. So now that gives us a triple as a frayed knots point. And so the remaining cells here are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, are any of those interesting? This one's not a 6. Oh, none of these are 4, interestingly. So these cells are also 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yes. So the orange region can't reach these 3 cells. So these 3 cells are another region, and I'm going to just take people's word for it that it's the last region. So we'll do that, because I know that these can't be orange or pink. And this only gets to be orange in a very specific circumstance. And is there a world where this is orange? It would look something like this. I don't think I can do this while letting green finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, green needs too many cells for orange to get to this cell. And pink certainly can't get to this cell. So I think this cell's definitely green. Let's see. Carl says this has to be pink. If it's orange, then I have not left enough room for pink to finish. Yeah, I can't sort of get here with orange. So this is a pink. So therefore all of these are pink, because if these were not pink, I would have to fit a region under them. Okay, so what I tried to argue earlier was mostly correct about these all having to be pink, but then I confused myself because I missed how exactly my loop is traveling. Let's see, Nicholas says I should pencil mark these as 4, 7, 8, 9. And this one can't be a 9 because it can't see every piece of loop in green. Row 1, column 4. Ah, yes, that 5 sees up there makes that a 2. Means these aren't 2. Good spot. 4 in row 4 is placed. Yes, 4 in row 4 is now placed. Good. I usually draw in the border when the region is finished, Nordy. So we do need a border, but we have to... The region has to earn it before we can sort of fill it in. If we just go giving them out willy-nilly, the regions won't behave themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are from 5, 7, 8, 9. That one's not a 9 at the very least. This one's not a 7. One of these two, though, is the 5 for the column. If you look at this column, I can't repeat the 5 in red. So one of these two is a 5. And so therefore these are not 5. And that gives me a 7, 8, 9 triple, which actually then places the 5 in the column. So now these two cells are a 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an 8 and a 9. I don't think I actually know which way that works out just yet. Oh, but now we know where blue gets its 2, Afraid Not points out. So this is a 2. This is a 1, 7, 8, 9, just for the record. Yeah, the digit down here is a 4. 4, So what colors connect to what is what J40 is encouraging us to think about as we sort of bounce back and forth between thinking about Sudoku and thinking about loop stuff. So orange can't connect to pink because then the loop would finish before it visited blue and purple. So what is pink therefore going to connect to? Pink can only connect to blue or green. But if pink connects to blue, we have a sort of funny problem that we have trapped this loop end in no man's land. And so actually pink and green need to connect, is J40's point, which is a really interesting thing to have happen. And so pink connects to green. Then green is going to connect to purple, purple connects to blue, and then blue to orange, and then we'll have our cycle around. Let's see. Garion was giving me another digit. I can finish 3s for rows 7 and 9. Row 7 and row 9. So the point is the 9 in row 3 is pink, so the 3 in row 7 is not pink. So the 3 up here really only lives in one of these 2 cells, but it really lives there. And so that is a 3, and that is a 3. Not that. And that's a 3. Yes, orange can't go to column 9. I agree. So therefore, the bedding tree is orange, because if the bedding tree isn't orange, then orange can only get to a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells. So the bedding tree is orange, because the bedding tree... Sorry, because orange can't make it into column 9 is J. Dyer's point. And so if orange doesn't take this cell, orange can't finish. And in fact, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... the same is true of this cell. This cell must be orange. Now, could this be the orange 3? No, because then green and pink couldn't connect. So therefore, this 3 must be orange. And this 3 must be green. Orange is getting suspiciously close to finishing now. So orange only gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Orange gets 2 more cells, I guess. They could be these 2. Would it break this cell if it was those 2? I don't think so, unfortunately. Let's see. So yeah, orange I know connects to blue. So it either goes up there or up there. How are we going to decide which it does? I feel like I should be able to figure this out. Okay, this cell's always green, because if it's not green, can't finish. If this cell is not pink, pink can't finish. So that cell has to be pink. Let's see. Was hoping to get some like Sudoku stuff on this, but I don't think we have Sudoku stuff on it. Yes, we do not. I do not think. 2 in green. Okay, so there's no 2s down here. And green can't get past there. So the 2 in green is up here somewhere. And it's not in a row with a 2, which precludes that spot and that spot and that spot and that spot. So now the green 2, in fact, actually is just placed here, per many in chat, although boy, does that sort of surprise me. Not that chat got it, to be clear. It just surprises me that 2 is placed in green, even though we have no idea what green looks like. Yeah, we know that 2 is loop. But I think now your point about the 2 being loop is now this can't sort of bend around this way. Because if it bent around this way, the loop would connect orange and pink, and we don't connect orange and pink. So the loop has to actually go down here, is Jay's point. Because now we know enough about the geometry that this couldn't sort of bounce around. Let's see. Sarah makes a sophisticated argument that this is a 2. I think also this is the 9th 2. This isn't a 7. So I know the loop is going up this column because it connects it connects green and pink. So I know all of these are loop. And I know the loop does not go from green to orange. It goes from green to purple. So at the very least, that is in. Oh, and I know this is loop. Oh, that's interesting. This cell is loop. Right. I need to get from... Wait, where is orange connecting? Orange is connecting to purple. If orange is connecting to purple... Wait, orange can't connect to purple. No, orange is connecting to blue. Orange is connecting to blue. So if orange is connecting to blue, it can only do that right here. And therefore, I believe this cell can't be orange. Because I need to connect these within orange, which I could not do if this cell was orange. And so therefore that cell is green. And as soon as that cell is green, all of these are green, and green is now done. So we will reward it with its hard-earned border. Now pink has to get chased up here. And now pink, I believe, is done. Yes, pink is now done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so now we do our deduction that we learned last time. That once you have 8 regions, these cells must belong to the 9th. So we get to orange those, and then we get to fill in a bunch of digits. Oh, no, we don't get to fill in a bunch of digits. That's not how the puzzle works. But I do get to move my line around here. If now, this is funny, if the line goes here, now this digit would be a 3. So the line needs to come down here, at which point it bounces back up and does that. And so this cell is now a 6. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. No, it's a 5. It is a 5. So now we just need to connect green and purple up here based on the nature of reality. Right. This cell needs to be loop, Nicholas points out, so it bounces up like that. So now this digit is already at least 4, but it can't be 4 anymore because I can't connect to purple without taking another cell for this. So therefore, this is a 4, and this is therefore a 7 or an 8. Afraid Not points out I can use that to place the 4 in orange. I agree. And if this has got to be a 7 or an 8, then can't be 8. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It seems like it can only be a 7. What is the parity argument I'm missing? Right, I need to get over to... yeah, so I'm only counting loop that goes through these cells. In order to be an 8, I would need to go through 4 of these 4 cells. And there's no way to go through 4 of these 4 cells. Because if I went through 4 of these 4 cells, I would have to be entering and leaving this cell 3 times. So this is a 7. This isn't right. What? It could be 8. Row 1, column 8. The arrow doesn't see row 1, column 8. Right? This arrow is not pointing at row 1, column 8. Oh, right. It could do that. Okay, got it. Right. So, sorry, it could be 8 if it does that. Okay. Got it. Okay, so yeah, there is a vision of the loop, because it could go through here. Got it. Okay. Understood. Okay, what about over here? We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to go, not 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, really. Are there any of these that are interesting with 5, 7, 8, 9? No. What do I need in this row that's interesting? A 1, and the 1 goes here. So this is a 7, 8, or 9. And it's not a 9. So this is a 7 or 8. Not a 5. And so the 5 in the row goes here. So these are not 5. So so let's see. Do I know anything about like 6s or something like that? Oh, I know these are a pair. That'll be really helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what these are. And I know the order, actually. So that's the 6 and the 5 because of that 5. So now, I guess the 5 in pink is in one of these cells, but I don't think I know which one. Do I know which one? Oh, there's a 5 in row 9. Who knew? So 5 in pink is actually here, which makes that a 6 and a 5. So this cell by the column is a 6, 7, or 8, but it's not a 7, so this is only a 6 or an 8. Now, here's an interesting fact. There are 2 7, 8, 9s to place in pink that can't go over here. So 2 of these cells need to be 7, 8, or 9. Therefore, this cell can't be a 6, so it's an 8, and that's a 7, because it can't be a 9. And so, therefore, that's not a 9 either, because if it was a 9, I couldn't place 9 in pink at all. So, therefore, that's a 9. So that's not a 9. These cells are... let's see, I still need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to go in. This is not 1 or 4. This is not 4. This is not 9. This, who knows? That does give me a, like, thing on 4s, but I don't think it's a useful thing on 4s. Ah, yes, this 8 looks up, Garion points out. So that is a 7, which means these aren't 7, which means one of these is a 7, so these aren't 7. which means that one of these two is 7. That's not 7 either. One of these two is 9 for this row, so that's not a 9. That's a 7 or an 8. That's a 7-8 pair for the row, which makes that a 9 and an 8. Uh-oh. What did I do in blue? Am I just missing a candidate here? I'm probably missing a candidate, right? What am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm not even missing a 9. What am I talking about? No, the candidate is there. There's just a 1-9 pair. Somehow I thought there was a 9 already, but there was not a 9. It's all good. That's not a 9 either. These are a 7-8 pair, so no 8 down there. So these are a 6-9 pair. So these are a 4-something pair. That's not a 9. 4-1-8. I think they're 4-1-8. Probably. Let's see. The 1-9 pair points there, so that's not a 9. Let's see. 7 in green looks down. I don't know what we're talking about with that. 8 in row 4 looks left. That 8 does give me a 9 there, which means that's not a 9 and that's not a 9. So now one of these is a 9. None of them are 8 because there's a 7-8 pair. And none of them are 7 either. So these are a 1-6-9 triple. So that's not a 9. So that's a 7-8 pair, which makes that a 1. Which makes these a 4-8 pair. Makes that not an 8. This isn't an 8 either. That's a 7 and an 8. That 7 looks up and makes that a 9, a 1, and a 9, and an 8. That 1 looks both ways before crossing the street. That gives us a 6-9 pair, so those aren't 6. That's not 9. We've got, let's see, that 8 looks left, giving me a 4 and an 8. That 4 looks right, giving me a 1 and a 4. This isn't a 1 anymore, so that is a 1 now. We have a pointing octuple in column 1, making that a 7, an 8, and a 7. And an 8 and a 7, and an 8 and a 7. So let's see. That 8 and 7, look at that, making that a 6, making that a 9 and a 6, making that a 9 and a 6, making that a 9 and a 6. And now we had better finish the loop, because this needs to be an 8. And so in order for this to be 8, it needs to see all of these cells. And this one's a corner, so it has to do that. Wait, we figured this out before. This isn't a corner. So in order to see this, it needs to see all of these cells. No, it doesn't need to see all of these cells. Right, that's the point. It doesn't need to see all of these cells. It needs to see 3 of these 4 cells. No, it does need to see all of these cells. So this is a corner. I think that's right. And this is a corner. And so it's going to do that and that. And so that is our loop. And now this row, it's a 7. And then our bet cell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is an 8. Congratulations from Zach and I to all of the 8 bettors out there. It was an interesting rule set. I like this idea. I definitely think this fell into the trap of having like 45 minutes too much of Irregular Sudoku in it. for my taste for a chaos construction. But the part of the loop and the thinking about how the loop had to pass through the regions, I really liked. Like the geometry part and the loop building connected with the regions, I really liked that. There's a lot of really neat stuff, these sorts of things. It would have been faster with Sudoku Pad, but yeah, there were a couple messy steps, which is, I think, like, this is why I'm not the biggest fan of chaos constructions, but you get, like, it's one of those things where you have to sort of take the good with the bad, or whatever the saying is, where, like, chaos constructions let you do lots of neat logic, like was in this puzzle, and then sometimes it comes with some icky stuff that you just can't avoid, no matter how hard the setter tries to avoid it, and so sometimes these things happen. The break-in was very well telegraphed and very cool, by the way. That was one of a very neat sort of like way to sort of walk into all of this puzzle. Very neat overall. I'm quite impressed. I will not be surprised if Simon does this / already has done this on Cracking the Cryptic. Alrighty. I will take a moment to request that if you are watching and have not yet liked the stream, please click the like button. It really helps. It makes Zach happy. He's a bit of a prima donna. He likes to see the likes. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more puzzles. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. See you shortly. Welcome back, everyone. We are back with a Raumplaner puzzle. There are a few rules to this one. It's slightly intimidating, but I also expect I'll get to colors, so that combination appeals to me. So we have normal Sudoku rules. And this puzzle is all about the high-mid-lowity of digits. So if you're not familiar with the technical term of high-mid-lowity, there are sort of three flavors of digits as we see them in this puzzle. There's 1, 2, 3s, 4, 5, 6s, and 7, 8, 9s. The highs, the mids, and the lows. They're each going to get colors in this puzzle. And so we have these pairs that indicate that the digits on either side are in the same high-mid-lowity bucket. And it's pointing out not all such squares are given. There's arrows, where the sum of the digits on the arrow is the digit in the circle. So these digits want to be small, and this digit wants to be big. But then we have the crazy rule, which is that every 2x2 in the entire grid, every 2x2, must have at least one of each flavor. So every 2x2 needs to have a high, a mid, and a low. And so that's the rules. We need a betting tree. I don't know if Raumplaner is around or someone who's done this puzzle. I'm going to guess that, but if someone has a different betting tree that they know, I will happily take it. So I think one point to look at is that anytime you have a pattern like this, where these two are the same, that thing they're the same as is different from both of these. So what that tells me, I think, is that this digit can't be low, for example. But it tells me, like, these two are the same. I think unfortunately, we could do two lows, another low, a mid. Oh, no, we can't. We can't. Aha! I see it. Okay. So, let's disprove the possibility that these are low. If these are both low, then I need a low on the arrow. Oh, I don't need a low on every arrow, do I? Oh, no. Not every arrow needs a low. An arrow can have 2, 4, 5s, and a high. But I was noticing that if I put the lows in those cells, the puzzle has become broken. Because if I put the lows in those cells, then I can't put any lows over here, and so these can't be low, so that does not work. So that is not going to work. Okay. So Garion has a very interesting point, which is whatever high-lowity these are, that high-lowity needs to appear in this 2x2 and in this 2x2, but it can't appear here. And so what is the overlap between those things? It's only this cell. So whatever high-lowity this is also that high-lowity. So these three cells are all the same high-lowity, and presumably we could do exactly the same thing in some of the other boxes. So this high-lowity is just not involved at all. So if this high-lowity is not involved at all, what high-lowity can we omit completely? Yeah, we have the same sort of structure where we can do these things in other places. So Could these be the high digits is my first question, in which case this would have to be a middle digit. I feel like I probably should be thinking about, like, can these both be middle? But I think they could potentially. I know things like I know neither of these cells is green. So, like, if I just start coloring and just make up new colors and just call these yellow and purple, then I know that these are a yellow-purple pair. For whatever that is worth. And I know that these are a yellow-purple pair for whatever that is worth. I suppose I in fact know that all of these cells are yellow or purple for whatever that is worth. Getting to be worth progressively less, I suspect. If this was green, that would be green. Okay, I know I need a green in these two. Are these green or not? That's the question. If these aren't green, then we've used either all the yellows or all the purples for the row. These certainly can't be green. It's not yellow or purple. I don't see it. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, Raumplaner. So we know by our sort of geometry here, so if I rotate my head, these two are the same as that one. That's true. 2 in box 8 without that color. If the square in row 9 is yellow or purple, then you get a 2x2 in box 8 without that color. I don't see that at all. Where is the 2x2 in box 8 without this color? Chad is convinced they're green, and I have no reason to doubt that Chad is right. I just don't understand it at all. Like, I don't see where the 2x2 without this is. That has this color, because this color is this color. In column 6, you have a yellow-purple pair. That's the point. That's the point. Okay, got it. So the thing that I was missing, that I had not marked, is that these two are different. And so I don't think it has anything to do with 2x2s. I think the point is, if these are yellow or purple, then there are 4 yellows or 4 purples in the box, neither of which works. Okay. I don't think that's how most people were seeing it, but that works for me. Okay, so these are yellow or purple. This is yellow or purple. One of these two is green. In fact, both of these are green by nature of the fact that I need to put a green somewhere, and it can only, in this 2x2 and in this 2x2, and it can only go there. So this isn't green, it's yellow or purple. I still need a green for this row, so that cell is green. So all of these are yellow or purple. So we got that. It can't be green because that would put 4 greens in the row. So this is definitely yellow or purple. Let's see. I probably should actually color this. So let's actually decide that this is yellow. And see if we can do anything with that. Maybe that was a terrible thing to choose. That might have been not the right place to start, because these are the ones I actually know. Okay, maybe I should do this. Okay, that's going to be yellow. That's going to be purple. Nope. What about these? If I make these yellow, then this has to be purple. Okay, we've already gotten further than we made it in any of the other places. So this can't be yellow. It has to be purple. And this is a yellow-purple pair now, so I can red line it. Okay. Oh, this is also purple because of that's what they mean. So that's purple. So this is yellow, because I need this 2x2 to work. This is yellow because I need this 2x2 to work. This is now purple because there's a yellow over here. So that's all of the ones for the box. That's all the purples for the row. So now this is yellow and that's purple. And that is now yellow because of aforementioned reasons. Because there's 3 purples in the row. This is purple because of this 2x2. This is purple because of this 2x2. This does tell us purple is likely to be high. That's all of the purples here. So this is yellow. Oops. So this is yellow. This is one of each for sure. I need one of these 2 to be green. So I don't think... Oh, it's the box 7 arrow. The box 7 arrow. I thought we were going to need both of these together. But this definitely tells me that purple is high. Because it's higher than both yellow and green. So purple is high. So I'm going to fill in 7, 8, 9. I don't know how much I really want to think about that, but we'll leave it an option to think about it by at least penciling in some of it. So if yellow is mid, this is exactly 4, 5, and that's a 9. This is purple or green, I agree. So, these are... Well, one of these is yellow, at least. In particular, this digit's not high. This digit is middle, whatever it is. This is a 4, 5, or 6. Because it's not high, because of the purples here. Oh, sorry, I don't have purples there. These are purples or greens. Sorry, I misunderstood my own brain, as is often the case. Let's see. This is yellow or purple for the same reason. This one I don't know yet. Let's see. So if this is purple, then the other purple in the box is of necessity there. That doesn't immediately seem broken to me. Could well be, but I don't see it if it is. Let's see. Row 4, column 4, row 4, column 5, row 6, column 5 are the same color, which is purple. Oh, sorry, row 6, column 5. It's that one. So these are the same color. It's not green, so it's either yellow or purple. I don't think I see yet why it's not yellow. I do not see yet why it's not yellow. Let's see. It's certainly the opposite of the one in box 2. I agree with that. So between these we have all the purples, because one of these is a purple pair. And so these digits are a yellow-green pair, while we are making crazy soup. The top left 2x2. Ambrose says this cell is green. Right, because none of these are green, so therefore this is green. Got it. Right. So this is not green, right, because these two are the same. So this can't be green. So it's yellow, and now that means that these are indeed purple, as Garion pontificated previously. So these are not purple. Those are yellow. This is not yellow. It's green. These are each a green-purple pair. So these are a purple-yellow pair. This certainly can't be the purple in that purple-yellow pair. So now this is not the yellow in that purple-yellow pair. This can't be green because of the 2x2. Now this can't be purple because of the 2x2. Now if this domino was purple, we wouldn't have a yellow in here. Good. So these are yellow. This cell, I should know its color. It's green. So this cell's purple because of that 2x2. This cell is green because of this 2x2. Once that's green, these can't also be green, so they're purple. The other purple in this box is up here somewhere, so these are both yellow and green. Oops, not all yellow. They're yellow-green. Let's see. This has to be yellow because of this 2x2. So that's yellow. We certainly can't put purple on the tip of an arrow. That's true. So purple is in one of these two. I feel like I know that purple isn't here because I somehow think I proved that, but I don't think I've actually proved that. This is yellow. That's certainly true. So these are a green-yellow pair, and that one's the green one, and that's the yellow one. Let's see. Column 3 spares me from thinking about the thing I was thinking about, because column 3 only has one color left, and as chat points out, it's purple. So then this is green. So then this is yellow or green. But this can't be the green, because then this domino would be 2 yellows. This looks okay either way to me, I think. It's going to tell us, it's going to eventually sort out high and low, or sorry, medium and low. Nicholas has a smart spot, which is that one of these two cells has to be purple. And so because one of these two is purple, this can't be. Sorry, can't be. And so therefore, this is purple, and I can get rid of the line. And so this is a purple-green pair, and so therefore the betting tree is green, appropriately. So we've got that. Yeah, this is a purple-green pair. Okay, so it is possible to have yellows down the middle strip of a box, or we've broken the puzzle, one of those. I know I have a yellow here. So these aren't yellow, I guess. One of these two is yellow for this 2x2, so these aren't yellow. So these are green or purple. These have to be purple because I have 2 greens and 2 yellows. So that's nice. So these are both purple. So now these can't be purple because that would be 4 purples in the column. So these are green. This is a purple-yellow pair. And if that's a purple-yellow pair... Oh, never mind. Sorry. And this is a purple-yellow pair. We can line them both. Oh, I have 3 greens in row 1, so this isn't green. And so therefore this is the green for the box. I've got 2 yellows and 2 purples, and 2 more yellow purples, so therefore this is green. And therefore this is yellow. And so now yellow is middle now, and green is low. So let's see. These are red. Sorry, not red. These are green and purple. And therefore there's a yellow in here, which is the last yellow for the column. So this cell isn't yellow. This cell is green or purple. So therefore I need 2 yellows in this row. They can't both go here, so this cell's always yellow. Oh, in fact, I can't put a purple over here at all, so this cell is purple. So these are, again, a yellow-green pair. This cell's not allowed to be green, at the very least. Well, I mean, the arrows will help after we're done coloring. That's certainly true. We might have to resort to filling in 4, 5, 6 for the yellows and 1, 2, 3 for the greens, but we shouldn't be hasty about it. Yeah, these aren't purple, so these are from yellow-green. Let's let's see. Do I know any sort of combos going on? Maybe not quite. Right. There's a 2x2 here that is missing a yellow, so therefore that's yellow. That's the last yellow for the box. So this is purple or green, except by the column it's not purple, so it is green. So we've got that. Row 5, column 1 is even. Notable. Let's see. One of these is green, so this cell's not green. This cell is only yellow or purple. But one of these two cells is definitely purple because of this 2x2, and that's the last purple for the row. So this is in fact yellow. This is now green because of this 2x2. This is now purple because of this 2x2. This is now purple because of this 2x2. And we should probably be able to sort it out from here, right? So we've got 3 yellows and 3 purples, so this is green. And now this needs to be yellow, otherwise our entropy is broken. Now this needs to be purple by our line adage. And so there we go. So we've just got one little deadly pattern. Oh, we don't actually, because there's 3 purples in this row. So no yellow, sorry, so no purple there, so it is yellow. No yellow here, so it is purple. And now that purple, sorry, let's see, am I quite done? No, I need another purple in column 9, so this cell is purple. And so this cell is not purple. So we can get rid of that line. Now, let's see. Can we really not get rid of the rest of this? I don't even see how this comes out unique. Oh, right. Here we go. This 2x2. This 2x2 does it. Because this cell can't be yellow, because then it would make this 2x2 only 2 colors. So there we go. Okay. Silly me to worry about the puzzle being unique. One of these is green, so this isn't. So it is yellow. And now this column has all the greens, so this is yellow, and therefore this is green. And there we go. So now we can at last make Nicholas happy and fill in the... oh, I didn't finish this one, sorry. Box 4. No! Okay, so there we go. I think we did it right that time. Okay. Get rid of this line too. Okay, so 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so one of these is assuredly interesting, and it's this one, because now that has to be a 9. We can bring out Zach for the 9 dance. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Much appreciated. So now we get to do a bunch of stuff, like place a 9 there, for example. And place a 6 there. And so get to knock those two. Oh, there's a 6 there as well. While we are doing things. So one of those two is a 6, funnily enough. So let's see. So this had better not be a 6. This had better not be a 4. These aren't 6, of course. This is not a 9. That's not a 9. That's not a 6. Not a 6. Not a 9. These aren't 9 either. Let's see. Are any of these other arrows particularly interesting? No, is my conclusion. So I think from here we are on our own. So these aren't 6, so that is 6. So that's not 6. So that's not 6. So that is 6. So that's not 6. So that is 6. Not 6, for example. Not 9. Not 6. Okay. We've got a lot of 6s now. This can't get to 9. Wow, that's genius. Because now the maximum of this arrow is 8, so that's not the 9, so that is the 9. That's a very good spot. I would not have seen that for a while. Very good spot, chat. So 9 goes there. So therefore, these are not 9. One of these two is 9, but that doesn't tell me anything right away. This can't... So this being a 4 or a 5 means this could never be a 3, because that's only a 5 or a 6. So that's not a 3. This isn't a 3 either, so that's the 3. Somewhat geniusly. So that's the 3. So we can D3 all of those. So that's the 3. So that's the 3. So that's the 3. So we've got all of those things that are not 3s. Let's see. In column 4, we have the 3. Thank you, Nicholas. Let's see. Will Mark clean up my pencil marks for me? He will. Okay. Then I don't have to deal with deleting all the red marks over and over again. This can't get to 8 anymore. It can only get to 7 if this is a 2 and a 5. So that's a 4 and a 1 and a 1. And an 8 and a 7 and an 8 and a 2 and a 1. And a 5 and a 4 and a 5. And a 4 and a 5 and a 4. And a 5 and a 4. No. And a 5, sorry, and a 6. And a 2 and a 1 and a 5 and a 4. And a 9, because of that 7-8 pair. Right? No, sorry, that's not a 7-8 pair. Don't listen to me. That's not a 7, though. So that's an 8 and a 7. It's a 4 and a 5 and a 6. It's a 1 and a 2. And a 2. It's a 4 and a 5. That's a 6 and a 4. I was briefly like, wait, that doesn't white dot. Sometimes my brain has strange reflexes. This being one of those times. So that is a 4 and a 6. This is a 2, so that's an 8. So that's a 7 and an 8. That is an 8. And a 9 and a 7 and an 8. And a 7 and an 8 and a 9. And a 9 and a 7 and a 9. And a 7 and an 8 and a 7 and a 9. And a 3 and a 1. And a 1 and a 3 and a 2. And a 2 and a 1. And a 2 and a 3. And a 1. And our betting tree is, drum roll please, a 2. Congratulations to all of the 2 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. That was delightful. I enjoyed that. I've never done a global entropy puzzle before. I suspect I would be much better at the coloring doing this a second time. But I liked the global entropy thing, although, God, I would never, ever, ever want to set with that, because I can only imagine what a nightmare it would be. But solving it was fun. I enjoyed solving it. That was very cool. And I liked the sort of like the slow sort of figuring out how it worked to then sort of escalating sort of pacing that the puzzle had. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. I'm going to be right back shortly with some 6x6s that we wrap up with. So I will be right back. Please take this second to like the stream if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. By the way, I should say welcome to any new folks. If you are new around the channel and you have not yet said hi, please do say hi in the chat. We're a friendly bunch, I promise. So we like to hear from you. I'll be right back. All right, we have a 6x6 by Malcolm up first. By the way, if you're not aware, what we tend to do here is we tend to, when we're getting close to the end of stream, we tend to finish with a 6x6 or two, just so we don't run too far over time. So here we've got standard stuff. So we've got odd circles. So we can oddify all of those. Then we have a donation from David. David donates $5 in case it isn't open bar for Friday. Have a drink on me. And since work party, closed bar with pop, tea, coffee, etc. only. Thank you, David. Thank you so much for the donation. Let's get you a donation dance. Woo! Thank you so much, David. Much appreciated. Though the college had better pay for my booze or I'll be upset. Let us see. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so I know things like every white dot has an odd and an even on it. Every black dot has at least one even on it. Oh, okay. Here's the thing. These two orange cells, they go in this row. Well, they don't both go on the black dot, so this cell's always orange. And one of these is orange. So these are either 1, 2, or 3, 6, because it's a black dot with an odd, and that gives me the evens for this column. I really like that. That's very clever. So this is odd, so this is now even. So this is the other of 1, 3. Oops. This is 1 or 3. This is 4 or 6. 2 or 6. Wow, brain. 1 doesn't work here, actually, because 1 would put a 2 in both of these places. So actually, this is a 3, a 6, and a 2 or a 4. And now this I know is a 1-2 pair, spontaneously. I should have said also, the 2, the even digit from this white dot, from this black dot, definitely goes here. I could have done that immediately if I'd have paid close attention. You know me, though. That's not going to happen. Paying close attention is not one of my skill sets. Let's see. So we've got an even and an odd. So these two are an even and an odd. So these two are the same high-lowity. Do I really want to mark that? No. Oh, yes. So that is a 2. That's a good point. Well stated. Since this is the 2 from there, that's a 2. And so this is a 3, 6, because it's the only thing it can be. So that's a 6 and a 3, and we can give those their orange and blue hue. So this is a 2 or a 4, so it's always blue. Okay, so this is not a 3, 6, so it definitely has a 2 on it, because 3, 6 is the only black dot that doesn't have a 2 on it, and so the 2 on it is there. And so this is a 1 or a 4, but I don't know if it's even or odd yet. So let's see. Let's see. You know, if you look at box 5. I mean, I know there's a 6 in this row, if that's what you're saying. 2 in row 6. 2 in row 6 goes here. So that makes that my orange and blue. That's my 1 and my 2. Good spot. So therefore that's the 2, because the column needs a 2. Oh, right. There's 2 evens in this row is the point. And the 2 evens in this row mean there's only 1 even on this dot. That is what Carl has been trying to get me to realize. And I have been slow on realizing. So we've got that. And so this is odd because, again, we have 2 evens up here. So this has to be odd. And so these are even. And so this is an even and an odd. Oh, we have 1 more 2 in the grid. We should probably place the 1 more 2. Let's see. This is even. It's a 4. Yeah, William. I find that for me, like, I can do puzzles again later if I've seen someone do them. Like, if I've done them, I might occasionally have brain cells that recollect what's going on, but if I just watch someone do it, it's gone pretty fast for me. I did think it was quite a good puzzle, so I hope you will enjoy it when you do it as well. So these 2 white dots must be where the key is. Maybe I should be filling in what's left in these cells or in these boxes that only have a few digits left, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 1, 4, 5. So that's not a 1 and that's not a 1 is part of the point. And this isn't a 4 and that's not a 4 is perhaps a little bit of the point. So these are each from 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. Maybe that is not as exciting as I'd hoped. It's definitely not as exciting as I'd hoped. But I do know that these are the same digit. So I do have that. I mean, GSP can never be required. I do not believe. it can make things easier. Let's see. These are a 4-6 pair. Let's see. What am I missing here? Oh, hey, I have 4 of the digits filled in these columns. I should probably mark those with 4 5s. That might make my life easier. So if this is a 4, then that's a 6. Oh, hey, yeah. There's definitely a 4 in one of these 2 cells in this column and one of these 2 cells in this column, which means that this cell definitely is not a 4. I thought that was going to do more, I'll be honest. Is there a symmetric thing on the other side? There must be, right? So yeah, one of these is the 4, and one of these is the 4. So this isn't a 4. So what is happening? So no, it's not that this always has a 5 on it. It can just avoid it if it's 3 4. And I don't know if these two are the same digit unless I use GSP. Which I would rather not, if it's an option technically. Let's see. I can pencil mark that I know that these are 4 6. So what's going on here? I know this digit isn't a 4. So GSP is short for girth symmetrical placement, girth being the person who I believe somehow got credit for coming up with it. It's basically the idea that if your blank grid is perfectly symmetrical, then your solution must be perfectly symmetrical. So technically, it's only technically GSP if it's in Sudoku, but the same idea applies to any puzzle with a unique solution. So GSP is a uniqueness technique, which most people do not like to use, but it is a uniqueness technique that basically says if you have a symmetrical set of givens in your puzzle, and if you have a symmetrical set of givens and a unique solution, then your solution is symmetrical. Okay. So we can come back to this point. I did not really restart it. I just I wanted to point out that the givens were symmetrical, which I did not think I could really do without restarting it. So if this is a 3, it makes that a 3. And so Isabella's point is that we can use a uniqueness argument to know that this isn't a 3. But we can probably also see some way that this being a 3 breaks if we look at it otherwise. Oh, it was not Isabella? Oh, it was Ambrose. Sorry, it was Ambrose. Okay, so people would like to parity color these. And say that this is yellow, this is green, this is green, this is yellow. Because the point is I've got an equal number of these, so I don't know whether yellow is odd or even, but I do know that I need one odd and one even, so we're just inventing colors here. So that's yellow, and that's green. Okay, so I guess one point here is that these 4 5s are the same 4 5, and these 4 5s are the other 4 5. Let's see. So what is it we would like to say? Right. So yellow 4 5 is placed in this box is the point. That is very nicely done. And so yellow 4 5 goes there. So because the yellow 4 5 is there, that is the 4, and that's the 5, and the 4, and the 4, and the 4, and the 4. And therefore, that's a 6 and a 6 and a 4 and a 5. And we've got here, let's see. So that's the 4. No, that's not the 4. But it is even, so it's got to be a 6. So this is whatever the remaining one is. This is a 3. So this is a 5. So these are a 1 and a 3. Sorry, a 1 and a 3. Good lord. This is a 1, apparently. So that's a 5, and a 3 and a 1. And so that is a 1 and a 5. That's a 1. The 5 needs to go there in this box. That's a 3. That is a 6. And this is a 3. So the symmetry thing here is really saying if you just turned this whole grid 180 degrees, it would look exactly the same. Which is really interesting, actually, because it's something that you cannot do with a 9x9. Because if you turn a 9x9 180 degrees, your box 5 is different. And so when you do it with a 9x9, you end up with a sort of complicated symmetry, which is usually, it doesn't have to be, but it's usually rotate the puzzle and also replace every digit n with 10 minus n. So you swap 9s and 1s, swap 2s and 8s, and so on. Basically do the usual, so to speak, involution in the lingo, the way of swapping all of the digits. And so in a 9x9, usually the GSP is a little bit more complicated. So anyway, in particular, if that is your particular symmetry, then the center digit has to be a 5. But if you like thinking about things in terms of group theory and group actions, which is probably a narrow subset of my audience, but if you do like thinking about that, GSP is just the orbit stabilizer theorem. Alrighty, but yeah, that was a very nice one to go out on. I am going to wrap up there for now, but I hope you had a good time. Again, if you haven't liked the stream yet, please do. If you're watching the VOD later, I'd love a comment. I always appreciate hearing that people are still enjoying the VODs. I know people do, and people have left some really nice comments lately since I've started asking, but always neat to see people watching back earlier streams. It's like a message from the past or future or something. I will remind you that on Friday, Tristan will be streaming at my usual time, but it'll be Tristan instead of me. So be nice and kind and help him out. Would be awesome. But thank you to everyone. If you want to support the stream, as always, beyond liking and subscribing, if you want to support the stream, you can click the join button down below. For as little as $5 a month, you can give a little back to the stream. We stream about 50 hours a month around here, so you can sort of plan appropriately. You do get the green name, you get the little Zach emotes and other things. You get access to the zetamath exclusive Discord, which frequently involves zetamath bloopers and outtakes. And whatnot. But anyway, so thank you to everyone who does that. It's greatly appreciated. You help keep everything running around here. Thank you to those people who donate at the top level. So that's David Ratner, Michael O'Connor, Nordy, Franco, Woofer, and Andreas. Thank you very much to all of you. I will see you all again on Sunday, but Tristan will see you on Friday. So I hope you are kind then. I'll probably be watching from a corner at the party. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.